Wearing the three Falcons and Steelbacks. 23 is the Steelbacks captain, David Willie. Wearing 35, Ravi Bapara. Wearing 12, Sikandar Raza. 18, Steelbacks. 15 is the Steelbacks goalkeeping for Lewis McManus. Wearing 14, Jules Falcons. 84, Ravi Bapara. 98, Jules Scrimshaw, and wearing 80, Freddie Elwich. Our scorers are from Derbyshire Kickoff, representing Northants, Quentin Jones, and our umpires, always like Andy Dix, Rob Bailey, and Ben Kemp.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Northampton. Wantage Road, home this evening to Northamptonshire Steelbacks versus the Derbyshire Falcons in the opening night of the 2024 Vitality Blast. My name is Dan Jadzovic. I'm joined by Trish Hankins. Trish, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So glad to have the T20 back.
It feels like it's been a long way coming, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we've got discos going on. We've got people in the ground. We've got people queuing up for the Memsab tent. The beer queues are good, and it's a nice change from the Champo.
It is. When the weather started earlier, I was a bit apprehensive whether we were going to get there, but
yeah,
Craig and his ground staff have done brilliant as usual, and we're starting on time, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job to get us ready. News from the toss earlier this evening. Steelbacks won the toss. David Willie is captain and elected to have a bowl first here tonight. And the teams line up as follows. The Steelbacks opening with Vasconcelos and overseas signing Matt Bretsky. David Willie at 3, Ravi Bapara at 4, Sikandar Raza, new signing at number 5, Saif Zabe, Lewis McManus, George Bartlett, Rafi Weatherall making his T20 Blast debut, George Scrimshaw switched counties over the winter, and left arm wrist spinner Freddie Heldrick. The Derbyshire Falcons, who will bat first this evening, Harry Kane, Lewis Rees, Wayne Madsen, David Lloyd, Brooke Guest, Samit Patel as captain, Ross Whiteley, Alex Thompson, Zach Chappell, Pat Brown, and the New Zealand overseas seamer, Blair Tickner. Excited to see the new signings for Northants?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always good to have some overseas with some experience, and both of them have got some. So hopefully they can really rally the boys and we can start with a really strong performance.
Yeah, two, genuine box office signings for John Sadler and Northants for the T20 Blast. Matt Bretsky, third highest run scorer in the SA20 last year for the Durban Supergiants, 416 runs, just literally landed in the country the other day from Jamaica, having played 3 T20 internationals for South Africa against the West Indies. And of course, Sikandar Raza, 245 international caps for Sikandar. Does miss a couple of games in the middle, but we're talking about this one tonight, so we don't need to worry about that.
No, and obviously with Ravi Bapara coming in, with the vast experience that he's got, I just think it's sort of going to set us up for a really good start to the tournament. And then obviously with the signing that we're going to get when Raza goes, it's not bad either, is it? So
there's not many opportunities you get to replace somebody of Sikandar Raza's quality with a World Cup winner.
No.
That's exactly what Northants have done with Ashton Agar when he arrives into the Blast in not the too distant future. Right, the players are on their way out to the middle. All eyes on who's going to open the bowling for the Steelbacks. Opening the batting, Harry Kane and Lewis Rees. Rafi Weatherall makes his Vitality Blast debut as well. Made his first class debut earlier this year and, took to cricket, professional cricket, like a duck to water.
Yeah, and it's great. He'll want to probably get an over in quite early, steady those nerves, because he's bound to be nervous. I know he's made his debut in the county champs, but completely different atmosphere, isn't it? Look at how many people we've got in, the music playing, just the atmosphere. He's going to want to, get the ball in his hand and hopefully set the tone really early. But I'm sure the boys are all behind him and they'll be settling those nerves.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Dave Willey is going to open the bowling from the David Capel end. And as captain, he'll certainly have one eye on Rafi Weatherall to get him into the game early as possible. There are, I say, genuinely new faces in this Steelbacks lineup today. We've mentioned a few already. George Grimshaw has played championship cricket this year. He's another new signing for white ball cricket for Northants from Derbyshire. George Bartlett as well into the side, having moved from Somerset over the winter. Yeah, it's a big change from what the Steelbacks lined up with in 2023.
It is, but I don't think that matters. I think, you've got a lot of players that aren't playing today that would come in, yes, bring that experience, but with the three new players with Bopara, Raza and Bretsky, that brings it experience anyway. It's always an exciting time. There's always a lot of movement around, players in, players out, but this looks like an exciting, young, experienced team.
Yeah, well, here comes David Willey. Harry came on strike, and that's dropped into the leg side for the first ball here of 2024. Derbyshire as well. Welcome into the stream, Derbyshire fans. Great to have you along. Wayne Madsen made his international debut for Italy last year, cruising up towards the 40s. Like, what a cricketer Wayne Madsen is.
Oh, I mean, he's been around for a long time, hasn't he? But to make an international debut at 39, 40 it's not a bad effort, is it? To still be able to play at that level.
Yeah, quality signing, and someone that's really high up the list of run scorers last year. Derbyshire yet to get their account underway with 2 dot balls into the leg side. Samit Patel, the skipper, he moved from Notts, didn't he, over the winter? Ross Whiteley as well, white ball specialist from Hampshire. I mean, he whacks the ball miles, does Ross Whiteley.
It's one of those that you want to see him bat, but actually after a while it's like, we've had enough now. But no, he's an incredible ball striker, isn't he?
Absolute quality. Pat Brown as well, moved from Worcestershire up to Derbyshire over the winter. He was well up the list, along with Zach Chappell in the wicket takers last year too. And Harry Kane gets off the mark. Derbyshire get their account ticking over this evening.
So both teams are quite new, aren't they? It's a real funny one, isn't it? We, as players move around, yes, they have the stats and stuff behind them, but it's just fitting into that new environment. And a lot of players bring different things, and it's about how they fit in and what role they take within the group. Obviously, we know a little bit more about the Northants side of things, but I'm sure those players that have gone into the Derbyshire sort of change rooms are going to bring a lot of experience and hopefully, help the younger players coming through.
Lewis Rees on strike. Man with a lot of experience tries to run that one down to deep third. First ball, can't get it past Sabe, who's fielding at backward point so far this evening. Both teams have been busy, and I think both teams have added a lot of quality to their lineups. Probably players that they were missing last year in reality. Yeah,
I think Derbyshire are very similar to Northants in the sense of we don't lose a lot of players after England. We don't have the depth in squads. So actually bringing in these new players just to reignite that sort of passion and everything is what they need.
Yeah. Bit too straight from David Willey that time, allows Lewis Rees to get off the mark. Fred Heldrick into the team with a less than helpful throw back to Lewis McManus there. 2 for no loss after 5 balls. Dave Willey in his second season back for the county as well. Bit of room created, from Harry Kane. He's cut it through point and he picks up 4 and the first boundary of the evening for the Derbyshire Falcons. 6 for no loss after the first over. The stream at Northamptonshire is powered by Daffabet. The live chat on YouTube is on. You can get in contact with us on Twitter, or X as it's called now, but no one calls it that, or via email stream@nccc.co.uk. 6 for no loss. It's bit of a 50-50 over there.
Yeah, I mean, a strong start, bit too much width on that last ball. I think Willie will be disappointed with that, but you've also got to accept that there's a good shot.
Yeah, Harry Kane, I think, created a little bit of room for the benefit of the doubt there. And good news, Captain Trish has got Rafi Weatherall into the attack nice and early.
I think it's the way to go. I do think, he was he's an exciting prospect, you know, a local lad, get him on. And sort of not many people will know what he does because he's so new. So it'll be good for him to get one in early.
Ooh. Down the leg side, takes a tumble. Mark Wood-esque, gets himself back on his feet. Lewis Rees takes the single. And there's one off the first ball of Rafi Weatherall's T20 career. 82 mile an hour up on the speed gun. So he's going to be up there with one of the quicker seamers for Northants through the course of the evening. Derbyshire fans will know plenty about George Scrimshaw. He'll be a handful. An interesting prospect, though, returning to your old county. Old teammates will know what you're about. Out. Yes. Rafi Weatherall straight into the action. Harry Kane just pushes that one. He's a bit early on it, whether it held up in the pitch a little bit. Pushes it straight to mid-wicket.
You can see what that means as well with that celebration.
Rafi Weatherall is taking to professional cricket like a duck to water. As I said earlier, he got a wicket really early on in his opening spell in the Championship, and he's done exactly the same here in the T20 Blast. Picks up the wicket of the Derbyshire opener, Harry Kane, caught at mid-wicket. You called it, didn't you? Get him in the attack early.
Yeah, I do think it's just the way to go. But I mean, he looks like a really good prospect. Like just the way he approaches the crease, and the speeds are up there, aren't they? Like you said, it's going to be one of the quicker bowlers. That's definitely going to settle those nerves.
New batter for the Derbyshire Falcons in at number 3 is David Lloyd. Rafi Weatherall already at the end of his mark. He's got Ricardo Vasconcelos in at first slip. It's not far away from safe save, but backward point. Got maybe a little bit more bounce on that than David Lloyd was expecting, but he's done really well to guide that past safe save. Gets off the mark straight away for a second there. Bit of interest.
Yeah, I think that extra bounce has got him there. But I think it was fairly safe in the end. But we've seen probably things like that we think are safe, and then the players go and pull off an absolute screamer and hold on to one.
Yeah, he picked out one of the shorter players on the pitch this evening, though, didn't he?
That's good from Weatherall. Straight into bowling a left-hander. Very good. On
the money. There's so much excitement around this young lad.
But how good was that with Bopara just there, running over to him, little pat on the back. This is a fantastic start for him.
Yeah, I mean, if you look out the window here, and if we can pan out on the stream at one point, he's got David Willey on one shoulder, Sikandar Raza on another, and Ravi Bopara just round the corner. He's probably got to be going to take a leg by there, really quick single. Got to be getting on towards maybe like 1,000, 1,200 T20 games between the three of them, I reckon.
Yeah. So there's a lot of experience there to keep talking to him.
It's been a great over so far. Just 3 off it, 2 off the bat, 1 off the thigh pad. With the wicket, of course, of Harry Kane. Last ball of the second over. Wow, that's a big shot. That's a slog sweep. He's picked up Rafi Weatherall over square leg into the ComSave stand, probably about 10, 15 rows back there. What a shot that was by Lewis Rees.
Not bad in the second over to have the confidence to do that. That's just come off sweetly, hasn't it? It's not a bad delivery going into the going into the legs quite a bit there. Sort of free your arms, isn't it? But that's a big boundary out there. And I think it's hit on the inner road.
That's a big hit. A big hit. He has timed the pants off that one over square leg. As you said, probably a little bit too straight from Rafi Weatherall to finish the over. And as we said earlier, a bit more pace to work with than maybe a few of the other ones. But you've still got to put it away.
So a good over from Weatherall there with the wicket. But, getting hit for the 6 off the last one just probably swings it a little bit back into Derbyshire's favour there.
Yeah, I would completely agree. It's been a good start with the exception of the wicket of Harry Kane. always amazes me as well that everybody's been, I know the players have been training, they've been playing second 11 games, warm-up games for the Blast, but everybody's been getting in behind them against the Red Dukes. And then we come into a game like this. Appeal for LBW. Umpire not interested straight away. David Willey, I don't think, was particularly interested with it either.
He seemed to go up quite late, didn't he? I think it was because McManus and Ricardo had gone up. He thought, I'll join in here.
Just in case.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
You don't get if you don't ask, I suppose.
Exactly right. But yeah, you spend kind of the first 3 months getting in behind the Red Dukes and trying not to nick off to the fourth slip because it's swinging round corners, and then you're slog sweeping Rafi Weather off the 12th ball of the day. It's a big swing from Lewis Rees, trying to take advantage of the power play. There's a big gap through and over cover. Through to McManus there for a dot ball. Willie started this over with 3 dot balls.
It must, yeah, it's their job, isn't it? And they train hard and everything. But even just the thought of having to shift from one format to the other, it must be a massive mind shift. Yes, you can go into training with that mindset, but actually being out there and it's, do I play that shot? Do I not? You don't want to be caught in that middle ground because that's when you might lose your wicket and not connect properly.
Rees advances. Really tries to follow him there, I think, a little bit, but ends up pushing that one down the leg side. Wide ball signalled. Dave Willey will have to bowl another one. Do you tend to get that, don't you? 3 dot balls and something happens.
Something happens, yeah.
Rees took a big swing at the ball before, but that was a real advancement down the track towards Dave Willey. Change in the field here as well. Vasconcelos has been taken out of first slip and is going to go in towards an extra cover. So the 2 catches, 1 at cover, 1 at mid-wicket. Slower ball. Again, Dave Willey, I think, just seen Lewis Rees come in there, taking all the pace off it. Rees has had no choice but to drop it down at his feet. 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle, which obviously you're allowed in the start of the T20 Blast. One is at deep square leg. The other is at third man, deep third.
I thought there was going to be a change there and square was coming up, but he's kept it out. Where does he go now?
I think
there's a bit of a mixture in this over.
I think all the pressure's on Lewis Rees at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the 1 wide. Again, uses his feet, tracks him, comes down, doesn't get anywhere near enough of it. Don't think that's going to go. That's going to hold up. You'll be better qualified than me to confirm just how hard it rained at about, what was it, 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish this evening here?
Yeah, I spoke to the ground staff earlier and they said 4 o'clock we're expecting a bit, I think, was what was said. And about 3:45, you could hardly see any of the stands. It rained hard and for quite a while, to be honest. And I was thinking, any outground or any club ground game would have been off. But it looks fantastic out there, doesn't it?
It does look good. The outfield has been fairly slow all year, but that's nothing to do with the fact that it has just been quite soggy, isn't it? People might have noticed we've had a bit of rain in 2024. Last ball of the over. Bit of width on offer. David Lloyd can't guide it down to Freddie Heldrick at deep third. Dot ball to finish. So 4 runs off it, the wide and the 3 runs. And great news, Wendell's in.
He is. He's a character, isn't he?
In the T20 gear as well. Dressed for the occasion.
He got his megaphone?
Yeah, he's full of encouragement, Wendell.
I don't think he needs a megaphone.
He definitely does.
He's very loud, isn't he? Oh, he's great when he's in.
The funny thing is as well, he is a big man, Wendell. He's got big hands and he's about 6'8". That is actually a normal size microphone. Rafi Weatherall to continue. Successful over, the first one up from the Lynn Wilson centre end, so he gets another one. That one, big bag of a length, pulled through square leg for a single. 20 for 1 now, Derbyshire. What year was that? What vintage was that T20 shirt, Trish? Kind of feels like a question that you'd know the answer
to. Even though I'm not sure I know that. It's vintage.
Yeah.
It's been a few years since we've been in pink, isn't it? Hasn't it?
Nice retro vibe on a Thursday night.
It's good to see some retro kit though. as much as the new kit is fantastic.
Wow, that's a powerful shot. Is that going to get past Dave Willey? It's not. One of the best fielders on the circuit, Dave Willey, cuts it down to just a single. For a second, I thought that was going to beat him.
Yeah, I mean, he's so athletic, isn't he? And quick across this turf that probably that little bit of slowness in the outfield has kind of helped us there. But no, he got across well. Very bottom hand as well, came into that shot.
Yeah, what do you think about David Willey's decision to have a bowl first tonight as well?
Good. I don't know what I would. I mean, I'm a bowler generally, so I like to bowl first in most games.
Yeah.
And I get told off a lot by my teammates. Oh, we should have batted first. But overhead conditions, look at the pitch. Early look at the pitch, see how it's going to play.
Bit of pace
That might be
off.
out.
Has it picked him? Oh, he's
no.
cleared him over the crossbar. Safe save down on the deep mid-wicket boundary. I think, judging by the reaction of a few of the Northants players, I think Safe's misjudged that.
I think he might have come in a little bit too early on that one. And as we mentioned earlier, he's not the tallest, is he? I still think it would have been a good catch if he'd stayed right on the rope.
Yeah.
Because it has obviously cleared him, but they're the ones that, yeah.
But you can't drop it if you don't get a hand to it.
Yeah, it's not a drop.
I do think he's taken a couple of steps in there early and not realised just how well Lewis Rees has connected with that one. And it's cleared Safe save by, not by much, was it? Maybe a foot and a half?
Yeah, and he's not hit that, has he? He's just timed that. But he hits it so cleanly.
Oh, he's gone for the ramp. Can't connect. Otherwise, that would have been another boundary. The second 6 of the innings, both off the bowling of Rafi Weatherall.
I think Rees here is, we've talked a lot about experience already, but he's probably trying to put him off a little bit, knowing that he's on his debut, trying those things. I mean, Rees is a decent player, and we know he's scored lots of runs, but is he thinking, actually, let's put this youngster under pressure, take him off his lines and lengths?
Big square drive. Is that going to beat the fielder? It's not. Again. Oh, it is.
No.
It is. Watch the spin on the boundary. That's done for him. That's the new South African overseas, Matt Bretsky, patrolling that boundary. And it's just held up, isn't it? We've just spoken about the weather and we've just spoken about Dave Willey's bit of fielding and I think that's done for him. He's overrun it.
Yeah, he's overrun that. And then not looked the best because he's gone one-handed. But look, it happens. He hasn't played out there. He hasn't really seen the ball go across the outfield much. It's going to take a little bit of time every time you go to a new ground to get used to it.
Slower ball, pace off into the thigh pad, and it's going to be a leg by to finish what was a very, very good over for Derbyshire. 32 for 1 after 4. They've certainly caught up a little bit since Rafi Weatherall picked up the wicket on the 8th ball.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed that they've lost that wicket, but the counter-attacks come straight back to Northants. They've batted nicely. Nothing too risky. Yes, there was that booming drive against David Willey, but other than that, off Weatherall, they've actually connected well. And like I said, when Weatherall got hit for the 6 earlier on, you've got to say, well done, great shot. It's got to happen. Just Scrimshaw coming on.
It is indeed. Big George Scrimshaw replacing David Willey from the David Capel end.
He's going to want to get some of his ex-teammates out, isn't he?
He's
going to be a battle.
Going to be eyeing up a few. Starts with a short one down the leg side. Good take by McManus. Yeah, he's been kind of a real big kind of talking point in this fixture. As you said, he moved from Derbyshire over the winter, made his debut for Worcestershire against Northants back in 2017 in the Blast as well. Not the best day in the office that day. He went for 19 off 1 over and didn't bowl again.
Okay.
But he's got better since then.
He's definitely got better since then, yeah. Well, we haven't got to the end of the first over here, but hopefully.
Shorter ball, pulled away. That is going to be cut off this time. Bretsky makes amends for the earlier mishap, just the single.
That's always what you want. Get the ball quickly after you've misfielded and show what you actually can do.
Very quick across the ground, Bretsky. Be a player that I suspect, unless you watch a lot of SA20 cricket or are a big Proteas white ball fan, you possibly not heard much of him, but comes with a wealth of experience. And as I said earlier, really, really good SA20 season last year. Finished third in the run scorers. Short ball, which David Lloyd can't connect with. Might have been a little look there to see about height, but umpires have just called that for 1 for the over.
Looks like that's what Scrimshaw's sort of plan is. Hit the turf hard.
Yeah, we saw. I got the pleasure of watching him in the championship. Obviously, that's going to be a very different skill set, isn't it, to what we're going to see tonight. But he got some wickets with some real brutes of deliveries in that game against Gloucestershire. That's a shot. Cut away, over point, all the way for 6 as well. I think that's just crept over the rope. That bit of extra pace and that bit of extra bounce. David Lloyd catches up with it, carves him over point for 6.
That's a lovely shot.
Did you see just for a second there, David Lloyd was just shadow batting the forward defence as well?
Don't know why people do that. You've just played a lovely shot. You don't need to practice those. Let's not have many of those. Entertain the crowd, which is a lot bigger than I anticipated it being, actually, with the weather that we've had as well.
Oh, that's gone again. He hasn't got all of it this time. There's going to be a chase on. I think it's going to go the distance. It is. A couple of bounces for 4 down towards the heavy sweep. Back-to-back boundaries. This has been an expensive start for George Scrimshaw against his old team. He's gone for 12 and he's still got 2 balls to bowl.
He might be doing that 19 off that over again. Dan.
Let's not slide down that route just yet.
No, he's going to come back now. It's just that length. I just don't. He's bowling really back of the length, isn't he? I just don't know if the field for me would be where I'd set it. Obviously, you've got a safe deep square, but he seems to be bowling quite outside the off stump here. And he's been hit over into the offside.
That one is pitched up. He hasn't got anywhere near enough of it. Can Raza get there? No. Drop catch.
Great effort.
David Willey backs him up. That was tough, wasn't it? That was running away over the shoulder with a dive at the end and couldn't quite get there.
That is a fantastic effort, though. It's not the clearest of skies tonight. White ball, sort of not the greatest of the over your shoulder running away. They're always going to be hard.
Yeah, that shows, I think, that plan. Just get the ball up a little bit further. Maybe the pitch is a little bit sticky. That's why that might have contributed to Dave Willey's decision to have the ball first. Obviously, with that shower. Should we call it a shower that came across the grounds?
Yeah, we'll call it a shower. We'll call it a shower, yeah.
That's up again. It's not going to go all the way, but it is going to make its way down to the boundary. That has been, well, expensive would be the polite way to put it from George Scrimshaw. The partnership now worth 42 off 22 balls. And after 5 overs, Derbyshire are 49 for 1.
I'd be very interested to sort of know what the plan was for that over. Like I said, he's been hit for 3 boundaries over onto the offside, but yet hasn't got anyone out on the offside.
Yeah.
Back at the length sort of bowling. The one that he's pushed up a little bit further is obviously got dropped at mid-on, mid-off. It's quite... You always got to speak to your bowlers and sort of see what their plans are, but it'd be interesting if he didn't quite hit the areas that he was looking to bowl.
Yeah, I suppose George Scrimshaw would be the only one to be able to answer that one. These two obviously would have had the benefit of facing George Scrimshaw a fair bit, which I'm sure kind of contributes towards it. Sikandar Raza straight back into the game, drop catch off the penultimate ball of the last over, and he's going to bowl the last one. This quick spin for Sikandar Raza. And that's pulled away. They picked out Bretsky. Oh. They haven't. I think he might have just misjudged that one a little bit as well and ended up trying to almost save that going across the rope. Another boundary and another 6 for Derbyshire. That's a great start to the over.
Yeah, the pressure is completely off Derbyshire. They'll be happy with the run rate that they've started with. And they'll maybe just tick it around for the rest of the over.
Cut away for 4. Through backward point, save, can't cut it off. 10 off the first 2. This is turning into being a brilliant power play for the Falcons. 11 now, the run rate. With 4 balls left to go, the spin of Sikander Raza so far hasn't worked. And there's obviously only 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle, one at deep mid-wicket, one at long on even. Pace off that time from Raza.
It's always hard for spinners to bowl in the power play because you haven't got that protection. But sometimes, they've obviously seen something in the pitch with that holding up, maybe a little bit sticky, that they thought, let's give it a go. And he's got so much experience. He's going to have bowled in the power play before.
Rounder arm, lower arm from Raza. So I think we've seen 4 different deliveries there from Sikander Raza in these first 4 balls.
Yeah, how the batter picks it, because obviously he runs in with the ball behind his back, and very interesting. You could pick that, couldn't you, with the lower arm?
Yeah.
And obviously a lot flatter trajectory. But yeah, variation's key.
Yeah, when you look on ESPN Cricinfo, other cricket information sites are available, and the bowling style is right arm off break / leg spin. You're in for a good time when it's just like, well, I'll just do both.
Let's just cover every sort of area.
Not quite ambidextrous, but as good as. 2 balls left of the power play. Reese on strike. That one just pushed in a bit quicker, just pushes Reese back into the crease. But again, that run rate, 10.3. Derbyshire don't need to take a risk here.
They won't want to lose another wicket in the power play if they can help it. Especially with that start, they're definitely on top at the moment.
Shorter ball into the surface. That's turned into the leg side. They're going to look for 2, and they're going to turn it down. They're not going to take on Vasconcelos. So it is a single to finish the power play. 61 for 1 after 6.
They could have easily, I know only 1 wicket isn't the worst thing, but sometimes teams might go into their shell a little bit, but they haven't at all. They've run well. They've capitalised on balls that have gone slightly off. And yeah, had a really good start to the power play. They'll be the happier camp, I would imagine.
Yeah, I absolutely would have thought so. Ravi Bopara into the attack, straight out of the power play. Another new face to this Northants dressing room comes into the attack, replacing George Scrimshaw. That's another benefit with the new signings that Northants have got in this side and what David Willey's got available to him. He's got options, and a lot of them. We haven't seen Freddie Heldrick yet with his left arm wrist spin. Down the leg side. Have to bowl the other one. Safe Zabe, obviously another left arm finger spinner.
Yeah, you normally have the extra bowler just in case, but yeah, looking round, Willie will be happy that he's got a lot of options. And when they see different bowlers on the wicket, other people, they might bring Safe in because actually it's going to be suited to his bowling.
Width on offer that time. Lewis Reese might have been inquiring there as to whether that was a little bit too wide for Bopara, but umpire happy with it. So a dot ball. Pace off straight at the stumps, wicket to wicket from Ravi Bopara.
We've gone straight with 5 out, so trying to drag back the run rate a little bit.
Yeah, where are our 5, Trish?
Got deep cover. I've got long on. We got 4. Oh, we've got long on and long off. I lost.
They're a little bit camouflaged, aren't they?
They are. I mean,
the shirts are good, but there is some digital camo going on right now.
Yeah, the shirts are very nice. The Northants women are playing in the same, and there's been a lot of comments that it looks really nice, but I did completely lose. Whoever is at long on completely lost them.
Yeah, so what have we got? Kind of a deep cover point, long on, long off, deep mid-wicket, and a deep backward square.
Yeah.
The 5 fielders that Ravi Bopara has got outside of that 30-yard circle. Feels like a long over this as well. This is conscious to kind of take a bit of down into the leg side, gone. Northants, make no mistake this time, The catch has been taken. Ravi Bapara starts with a wide. Dot ball, dot ball, dot ball. 3 dot balls. You know something's going to happen. That one pace off into the surface. Lewis Rees tries to go for 6 over the leg side again, but can't pick out anybody but Sikander Raza.
Yeah, you knew that, like we've said, you know something's going to happen when you build up that little bit of frustration and, you know, getting those dot balls in. Did that shot need to happen? Probably not, but that's how he plays. And you sort of say, actually, if that's how you play, you've got a fantastic start. Why don't you just keep going? It might pay off, it might not. But no, fantastic from Bopara to sort of stay patient and get that wicket, and a good catch, actually, as well.
Yeah, it was. We've seen, the Northants outfielders, I think it would be fair to say, struggle a little bit so far this evening, potentially misjudging it. Bretsky, always difficult picking a white ball out of that white tent and the white balls behind it. Safe save, misjudging the one off Rafi Weatherall. Sikander Raza putting one down a couple of overs before, but making no mistake that time. 62 for 2, 2 balls left in Ravi Bapara's first over in a Northant shirt. And that man that we were singing the praises of earlier on this evening, the Italian international Wayne Madsen, has made his way to the middle. He's at number 4 for Derbyshire tonight.
I'm sure these two have played a lot of cricket against each other over the time.
Slow ball. Cut away, tries to beat Scrimshaw, but picks out the big fast bowler.
Does feel like a very long over, doesn't it?
I
to say there's only been one wide.
Yeah, so by trade or by location, I am technically a Sussex supporter. Obviously, that's where Rafi Bapara moved from over the winter. However, I think I only went once last year, so I can't tell you with any confidence whether this is a usual thing for Bapara or whether this is a kind of a match awareness type situation. But anyway, 1 wide off the first ball. Other than that, dot balls all the way through with the wicket. And 7 overs, Derbyshire 62 for 2. So just 1 run being added.
Yeah, 1 run, 1 wicket. It's not completely swinging it back into Northant's favour. They'll want to keep bringing that run rate down. But yeah, a great over to sort of just get that balance back and hope Raza here can come back in and bowl a slightly better over than that first one.
Down the leg side, an appeal from caught behind. Umpire having none of it. Signals wide. Whether that might have brushed the thigh pad or not, I don't know. But wide signal. This feels like the kind of the time of the game with all the experience that Northants have got in this bowling lineup, that they can kind of tie a team down in the middle.
Well, yeah, definitely. Allow them to, you know, Weatherall, fantastic first over. Yes, went for 6 off the last ball. That second one, maybe the nerves got, but the experience of the other batter just swung it back into their favour. Yeah, get on some sort of experienced bowlers that can just hopefully...
Yeah. Reverse sweep. He's done Freddie Heldrick like a kipper there, isn't he, at backward point. Fred has run down towards the Spencer Lounge, and David Lloyd's got that quite a bit squarer and made Freddie look a little bit silly there.
But he was anticipating it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But then, yeah.
The thing is, one of those, isn't it? You get that right, you look like a genius.
You do. Yeah. It's not fun sometimes, is it?
Cut away off the back foot.
You read it really early. Probably too early.
Do you know, it's one of those that you just wonder whether, like, David Lloyd just spotted it out the corner of his eye and just went, oh, actually, you know what, I'll hit this a little bit squarer. Fred did go very early, but it was a cracking shot by David Lloyd. He's on 35 of just 15 balls here.
But he doesn't feel like he's done that, if that makes sense. He's just gone about it in a fairly, quite a manner that, whereas Rees seemed like more of the bigger hitter and everything, but yeah, picked along nicely. Yeah,
that one there just pushed in a little bit quicker from Sikander Raza. Madsen turns it into the leg side. I would imagine for a little while that Wayne Madsen will be quite happy for David Lloyd to do a bit of the heavy lifting here. Let Wayne Madsen get in. A bit more flight on that one from Skandaraz. They're going to look for a couple. They're going to take on Safe Save, and Safe Save with a little bit of a fumble there.
That's great running.
Allows Derbyshire to come back for 2, put him under pressure, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they knew straight away. They sort of turned and went, and then obviously Safe was probably looking up, seeing that they were running, and yeah, that's when the fumble happens.
Oh, it's not far away from off stump. Bottom edge from David Lloyd. Could have gone anywhere. It didn't. 71 for 1, 71 for 2. Apologies, after 8 overs.
Yeah, with the fantastic start that Derbyshire have had here, Madston can just come in and sort of rotate the strike, let Lloyd, who's obviously been there a little bit more, has seen more of the pitch, knows the bowling a little bit more, to just go about his business, and then he can just get into it, get used to the pitch, because I do think there's something in it. I do think it's sticking a little bit. I think that first wicket from Weatherall was took by surprise by it just sticking.
Yeah, Harry Kane looked early on it, didn't he?
Yeah,
he tried to turn that one through the leg side. And the drop catch from Raza at mid-on as well, off Scrimshaw, was just held up a little bit, didn't it? Maybe it got a little bit big on him. I think it was about 87 miles an hour, which we're not going to see from Ravi Bopara, as that one's pulled down to deep mid-wicket from Wayne Madsen.
Be interesting to see how... I know Raza's obviously bowled a couple of overs, not gone for loads, but it'll be interesting to see how Bopara, with his slightly slower pace and the variations, how much he'll be able to get out of the pitch.
Yes.
Whether there'll be any lateral movement, if it holds up. It's bowling a little bit shorter this over, by the looks of it.
I think he knows he's got the protection out on the leg side, so that it's a long boundary, isn't it, down towards the cider truck. So has got that protection. I think he's just very wicket to wicket, changes the pace a lot. Doesn't really allow you much length, I don't think, to throw your arms through it.
No, I think as he's gone through his career, he's not so worried about being express pace, because there is a lot of bowlers able to do that. It's the variations that he's got, and even the slight variations, a couple of miles an hour here or there.
Yeah. Oh, it's not far away from David Willey. A diving attempt in the covers. That would have been an almighty catch. But as it is, Madsen gets his first boundary of the evening. That's 4 through the offside.
I mean, if you had to pick any Northants fielder to be in that position and to take a screamer like that, it would be David Willey, wouldn't it? I think that was a good effort I don't think it was far away.
No, I'm not convinced Dave Willey would have dived for it if it wasn't that. No. But yeah, it was a brilliant effort. I think he's probably got enough photos on the mantelpiece from his career where he's been athletic that he doesn't need to dive for those if it's not in range. Not. Good batting from Madsen, gets the boundary, gets the single, gets down the other end. 2 balls left in Bopara's second over. This one considerably more expensive. 7 runs off the first 4 balls. I'm going to be interested to see how David Willey uses his bowling options as well. He is blessed with choices this evening.
Yes, he is. But obviously, do you bring Scrimshaw back? He's going to feel under pressure. And even Weatherall to some regard. But I think sometimes we're out of a power play now.
Yeah.
You've got that added protection, know what the bowler wants to achieve, set the fields accordingly. Because you can't not have the 4 overs from either of them.
Yeah, of course. Well, we got Freddie Heldrick as well.
Of course,
he was Northants' second leading wicket taker in the Blast last year behind AJ Ty. And I think for the first part of the season, considering he missed a couple of games at the start, I think it was right up there at the top of the charts with wickets being taken. And Ravi Bopara finishes with a dot ball. Pace off again from Bopara. 9 done, 79 for 2. Derbyshire still looking incredibly good.
Yes, they are. And I think whilst Lloyd's there, they'll continue to play the way that they're playing. If he gets out in the next over, it'll be interesting to see if they do change anything, go about just rotating the strike for a little bit. It's always hard. T20, that's what's so exciting about it. It swings, but goes from one way to the other, doesn't it, continuously? You're never fully out of a game. 1 over can completely change it. And that's why it is so exciting to watch.
Well, here is Freddie Heldrick. I've just been talking him up. Dave Willey hopefully hasn't been listening, and he's brought him into the attack. He's going to bowl from the Lynn Wilson Centre end this evening. He's going to be bowling to David Lloyd, who is 39 not out. I'll tell you something interesting in a minute. Well, you might find it interesting. I don't know. David Lloyd gets on one knee, turns that one round the corner. With how David Lloyd's batted so far, would you believe that his last game of T20 cricket was for Glamorgan in 24th of June, 2022, where he scored 1 off 4?
Was he injured last year or just not selected?
Don't know.
Because it doesn't look like he's not played for that period of time.
Started like a freight train here, isn't he? That one into the surface again from Heldrick. They're going to look for a couple, but I think they're just going to settle on one. That is Bretsky. He is lightning across the outfield.
He is. He's not going to be happy with the first couple of bits of fielding or the misfields, but he is rapid.
It's funny how the ball kind of follows you around, isn't it, in the outfield? Everybody's been there, whatever level you play. That's going to be another single. Safe save running in off the long on boundary, keeping that down to 1. But he had the one catch, the one that went down, and then what was it? It can't have been more than about 6-7 balls later, wasn't it? It kind of misjudged one down on the boundary. Follows you, mother cricket. That one cut down to backward point. Good start for Freddie Heldrick so far this evening. Just 4 singles coming off the first 4 balls of his spell.
If he can get out of this over without going for a boundary, he'll be happy. I think this period of the game, this run rate as it is, 6 off it, you'll take it.
Oh, has he got it? I think he has. Freddie Heldrick comes into the attack. That one gets a little bit big on David Lloyd, I think. He's checking the splice of the bat as he's walking off. He's got nowhere near the middle. It's gone to reverse pull him over backward point. And he's picked out Sikandar Raza again. 2 catches for Sikandar Raza on debut.
He's only batted against like 22 balls and 41. That's to say that he didn't play last year and he got 1. What did you say? 1
off 4.
4.
Yeah.
Much better strike rate tonight, I think.
Yeah, just edges it, doesn't it, a little bit? But yeah, a great start to the season for David Lloyd. 41 off 22, 3 4s, 3 6s. That first one, I appreciate Rafi Weatherall's line was slightly wrong, but to pick it up and put it that far back in the stand was...
In the second over.
Yeah, so impressive. Here's the skipper, Samit Patel, in at number 5. Brooke Guest was carded, but Samit Patel is making his way to the middle. Now, if you wanted to watch a man who's played a bit, this is Samit Patel's 401st non-international T20.
That is a lot of cricket.
It's a few, isn't it? 6,435 runs. 581 4s and 195 6s.
Yeah, we don't want to see too many boundaries from him tonight.
He's some player.
He is some player. But what a move from Notts and to come in Derbyshire, like, because he was at Notts for a long time, wasn't he? So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays under his new role at a new club.
Absolutely. He's got 1 ball to face at the end of Freddie's over, and that is over pitched. It was a full toss, in fact. Samit Patel throws his head back in disgust that he couldn't get that one past the fielder. And it's 1 off the final ball, 5 off it with the wicket, 84 for 3 at the halfway stage. Any ideas what you think they might be aiming for?
Is losing that wicket in the last over might just swing it slightly again. You just want to get as many as you... It's a simple game.
It's cliched, isn't
when
it,
you
really?
bat first, get as many as you can.
Yeah. Put the other team under pressure.
Yes, absolutely. I do think there is. The wickets that have fallen, I do think it is that holding up in the pitch.
Yeah.
So I think there are areas that, if the bowlers put it in the right areas, the batters are through the shot a little bit too early.
Yeah.
84 for 3. You would want to be doubling it and some, wouldn't you? So I'd say 180. 100 from in the next 10 with the wickets in hand they've got. You've got quite a lot of spin options left. Obviously, Scrimshaw's coming back in now. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah, he needs to fight back, doesn't he, Scrimshaw? That's cut away off the back foot powerfully by Samit Patel. But straight to George Bartlett, who's doing the fielding on the backward point boundary. Let's have a look out the window and see who is outside the 30-yard circle for you. Where is it? Bartlett's at deep cover point now. Freddie Heldrick at deep third. We've got a fielder at square leg. Fielder going back at long on. And as I can't see anybody at mid-wicket, I'm going to suggest there's a fine leg as well, which would make sense for Scrimshaw. Wow. Well, there was nobody at deep mid-wicket. Madson's not got anywhere near the middle of the bat, has he? I thought for a second there that was disappearing over the tents.
Yeah, I did as well. But it just, whether it got a bit high, like a bit more bounce than he anticipated, he seemed to get it quite high on the bat. And it just didn't go anywhere, did it?
Absolutely Q-ended it, I think. Looking at, whether it was splice or whether it was toe, he was certainly inspecting it. When he got back down to the striker's end after completing the two, conversation there between skipper and bowler, and it's been a better start for Scrimshaw, just 3 runs from it. I wonder if it might have been a bit of a match-up decision with Samit Patel coming in, that bit of extra pace and bounce for Scrimshaw. That one pitched up. That one's going to get past David Willey. It's not going to get up towards the boundary. Jeez, he's quick across the outfield as well, isn't he? Another couple of runs added for Madsen. Madsen moves to 13 off 11.
Yeah, it's slight change in the field for that ball. So it looks like Safe's come around from long on to deep mid-wicket.
Yep.
Which potentially, I don't think it would have been a wicket in the previous ball, because I don't think it would have carried as far to him.
Madsen gives himself a bit of room, guides it past Sikandar Raza at backward point. It's just going to be a single because George Bartlett is patrolling that side. You'd say naturally it's going to be quite a difficult thing for George Scrimshaw, unless he goes full Yorkers, to get the ball up there, so to speak. So his natural length is going to be back of a length. And then I think, therefore, you automatically assume, well, that protection on the boundary is going to come square and behind the wicket.
Yeah, you would think so. Although when he does pitch up a little bit, they are happy to drive him over the top.
That's gone straight up. Put a name on it. Who wants it? There's 2 running together. Oh, my word, Bapara, well watched. For a second, I thought we were going to be watching something pretty unpleasant there, but yeah, Bapara keeps his eye on it, and I think Bretsky just bails out on that right at the last second.
Obviously, we can't hear. There must have been calling it out there, but it kind of did go in the middle of 3 people, and you think, who's going to go for it? But no, luckily, Bretsky pulled out. And it was a very well watched by Bapara, because you can see him moving across. Did he slip as well?
Not sure. I think he's bailed. Bapara's laughing about it. He's smiling about it in the end.
That's fine.
That's the most important thing. But there was heart in mouth moment for a little bit. And whether it was a match-up plan or not, I don't know for Scrimshaw, but I suspect that bit of extra pace for Samit Patel might have just done for him there. He's gone for 2. And we've got Brooke Guest making his way to the middle. He scored 227 runs for Derbyshire last year in the competition. Finished 16 not out here in the competition in 2023. Derbyshire beat the Steelbacks by 6 wickets.
Yeah, Samit Patel, not really he didn't get an opportunity to get into the flow of it, did he? I think there was a bit of a leading edge maybe on that.
Yeah, it just looked like he was a little bit rushed on it. Just sent it straight up, didn't he? Top ball to finish, much better over from George Scrimshaw. He opens his account for the Steelbacks. 90 for 4 after 11. Madsen's on 14. Guest yet to get off the mark.
So now this is the interesting point, I think, for me, where what do they keep doing here? I don't think they've gone hard. I don't think, Reese hit the ball cleanly. Lloyd, as we mentioned, didn't seem to get many runs, but all of a sudden had 40 off 20. It'd be very interesting to see whether Madsen just, carries on how he is, rotating the strike. If the boundary option's there, then there, and then Guest goes on the more of the attack, or whether they just go, do you know what? 8.2 and over is okay.
Yep.
There's something in the wicket. Let's just tick along for a bit and then accelerate nearer the end.
Yeah, well, they've not got... Well, Ross Whiteley's carded next.
Okay.
I mean, Ross Whiteley, I'm sure, would be loving the idea of coming out to bat with 9 overs left on the card. But weather a little bit later for Ross Whiteley just clears the mind a little bit and makes that plan a little bit easier. Alex Thompson as well at number 8 today. He's fresh off a double 100 in the championship, so he's seeing them quite well too. Got a bit of batting to come.
I always think it's hard with people like Whiteley, who's obviously a very good striker of the ball. Do you want longer to be able to get yourself in, or are you happy to go from ball one and sort of you have the license from the coaching team to just go out there and see how many you can get in a short amount of time? I always think it's very hard for batters to work out exactly what they're going to do there.
Straight up, I think that's going to land safe. That is going to split Vasconcelos and Dave Willey. Nice pitching wedge into the green. Finished up pin high, didn't it? Just outside the 30-yard circle.
Yeah.
Couple of runs added for Madsen. Bapara's had a change of ends. He's going to bowl from the Lynn Wilson centre end. He also nearly bowled about a wicket.
Yeah, it did. He also seemed to look at the toe end of his bat then as well. So I think the wicket is just holding up, and they're just through the shots a little bit too early.
That one into the surface, pulled away down to deep mid-wicket for a single. Well, let's hope from a Steelbacks perspective then that with that rainstorm that we had, with no more rain scheduled, no covers on it, it'll just continue to dry out a little bit as the evening goes on and becomes better to bat on. I think it's a really interesting point about Ross Whiteley. I'm sure the Falcons fans are going to be so excited to see him go. And as we know, and we've seen before, particularly down at Hampshire, hits a long ball and can take a game away from an opposition very quickly. As Bapara comes into bowl, his third ball, pace off again, through to McManus. And I'm speaking here from an incredibly simplistic cricketer's perspective. But I think with someone like Ross Whiteley, you get an option there of you go up the top of the order, get as many as you can, as quick as you can, or you go at the end and you go from ball one and just really change the momentum here. Yeah,
we've seen it a lot, haven't we? Like even with David Willey, he's been up at the top of the order and he's been down for when he's played for England because he can do both roles. And in a way, it's a very similar role. It's just license at the top, get as far as many runs as you can in the power play, or it's coming in at the end and just get us to as many as you can. I just think, like I said earlier, I'm more of a bowler. I just think for some batters it must be so hard, similar to the conversation we had about the county championship to T20, being able to shift your mind from opening to coming in. Yeah, just a big mind shift, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Bapara, cheap over so far. Width on offer, gets that one away down to the fielder on the deep cover boundary. Sikandar Raza it is doing the work down there.
He seems to be everywhere, doesn't he? Taking catches out on the boundary.
That's why I paused, because last time I said his name, he definitely wasn't at deep cover.
It's normally sort of safe, isn't it, out patrolling that boundary? But he's down here at long on.
Yeah, it's very much normally his bit of real estate down towards the beer tents. That one is going to put Bretsky under pressure. He does well this time. Gets the ball. Wow, he's done well there to keep that down to a single. For a second there with that slip, I thought he was going to allow Derbyshire to come back for a couple of runs. Another very good over for Ravi Bapara. 5 runs from it and a great bit of fielding from Matt Bretsky to finish.
Unsure how he's just throwing that in whilst he's been on his knees because he slipped. But just, wow.
Yeah, it's an arm and a half, isn't it?
It is.
It is an arm and a half. Well, interestingly in the piece, Freddie Heldrick bowled 1 over, picked up the wicket, went for 5, replaced by Ravi Bapara, who came in, went for 5 himself. Scrimshaw has bowled the last over from the David Capel end, picked up the wicket, and he's going to be replaced now from Sikandar Raza.
There must be some sort of thought here, a bit of match-up between players, or whether they're holding them back for a little bit later. Do they think against Whiteley they might bowl better with the pace and the spin from Freddie? Interesting.
Oh, that's a shot. I think that's going to it's certainly going to put them under pressure, and it beats them. I thought it was, but I wasn't prepared to call it. Brooke Guest has Madsen has absolutely muscled that one through the legs of Sikandar Raza. Almost took evasive action, didn't he, on his follow-through. And it's gone for 4 off the first ball of Raza's over.
It is very interesting because obviously Raza's gone for 25 and 2.1. But is it the experience that they're sort of sort of holding on to here, and rather than Freddie bowling another one and potentially going for a few boundaries? It's a really hard one. I mean, yeah, as a captain, when you've got so many options, it's which way do you go?
Yeah, I think that's a really, really valid point. Sometimes you get a team that is so well balanced that you end up kind of maybe not getting as many overs or out of somebody that you wanted to, just because you are blessed with so many choices. There is going to be one of these six, as Sikandar Raza puts that one down the leg side. One of these six isn't going to bowl the full complement, if not more than one of the six.
And they might walk out on the pitch thinking, right, Freddie for 2. And then Freddie goes and bowls really well and he gets his 4. And then sometimes it's easy just to have the 5 and you think, well, I've got to get 4 out of each of them. Yeah,
that's well fielded by Bartlett down on the boundary. Cuts the 4 off. Madsen comes back for a second. I mean, looking at it, what have we got? We've got 7.5 overs left to go. Willie's got 2. Para's got 1. You say Scrimshaw comes back and bowls a couple. Top ball there, well fielded by Dave Willie. Sikandar Raza has got another one after this one. And then you've still got 2 from Rafi Weatherall. 3 as well from Freddie Heldrick.
Yeah.
Round arm from Raza. That's so low, isn't it, in comparison to that stock delivery?
Yeah, obviously we're slightly higher as well. We can really pick it. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like coming from, as a batter's point of view.
Yeah, you'd like to say that it would be quite pickable, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But you've still got to play it.
You've still got to play it, of course.
Chance at the non-striker's end? No. Madsen says no to a second. So it's going to be a single to finish the over. 13 overs now have been complete, and the Falcons are 106 for 4. Madsen's on 26. He's faced 19. And Brooke Guest currently 1 not out, having faced 4 balls. And it looks like Ravi Bopara is going to bowl out. He's going to bowl his 4th over. Second from the Lynn Wilson centre end. So far, 1 for 14 from 3 overs. And so far, a good signing.
A very good signing. I mean, yeah, he brings something quite different to all the other bowlers on show tonight, really. Because he is a seamer, but obviously varies all of his pace and everything. It'll be, I think it's a good point to sort of bowl him out now rather than bringing him back at the end, because I think you've got Willie, who is a deaf bowler, although Bopara will have done it in the past. I think, you would always think 2 from Willie like at the front, and then maybe 1 in the middle and then 1 at the end. But I think he'll save himself 2 at the end. But it will just be interesting to see who he goes with.
Into the surface. It's got to be so hard to pick up a boundary here from Rafi Bopara, isn't it? Picks out Sikandar Raza, just a single added.
Yeah, the batters are having to create pretty much all the pace themselves. And he varies his length so well and the pace that you're not quite sure what he's going to be bowling.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what makes him so difficult to pick up, isn't it? If you've got a leg spinner or an off spinner, they can vary the pace to an extent, but that's a great shot. That's straight over Lewis McManus. It's not going to go all the way. There was an appeal for LBW. There might be a chance at the non-striker's end. Throw wasn't the best back to McManus, but for a second there was a bit of confusion between Madsen and Guest.
That is probably a good option actually against Bopara, because he is straight up and down.
Yeah.
Just watching the ball and playing it. There's no one directly there. But I don't know if I'd want to be going down to ramble sweep.
Can't get that one past. I think that's Rafi Weatherall at backward point. Does well with a tumble. It's when you get down into that position and then that shoulder comes over a bit quicker and the one's gone from 55 mile an hour to 75 mile an hour, and you potentially start to look a little bit silly at that point.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I don't do it.
3 balls left of Bopara's spell. 1 for 17 off 3.5 overs. Madsen can't get that one through the offside. Dave Willey this time in the covers doing the fielding.
See the frustration there on Madsen there.
I think it's building. There's been a few. There's been a handful of cheap overs. The last one, to be fair, from Raza did go for 11, but the ones before that was 5. Another 5 run over. Para taking his time again. Hopefully we're not in any danger of the clock running out, but it certainly seems to be a genuine tactic, doesn't it, here for Ravi Bopara?
Yeah, he seems to really slow down the pace of the game. More for the batter, putting the batter off.
That one, I think, out the back of the hand, but that is a perfect shot from Madsen. He's seen that one before, I think. He certainly had the width on offer. It was Yorker, it was wide, but Madsen's thrown his hands through it and he's picked up 4 through point.
That is a lovely cricket shot. Got all the time in the world for that. He's just waited for it, just played it nice and late.
There's a big gap, isn't there? If you can get it through, if you can get it past Rafi Weatherall at backward point, there is a lot of space available on the offside boundary. Somewhat spoilt Ravi Bopara's figures. That's gone up to 1 for 21 now. Last ball of the spell. Pace off again. I think that's a big inside edge past McManus. We'll see what the call is. It's buys, in fact. It's missed everything. Ravi Bopara can't believe it. End of his spell then. Ravi Bopara has bowled 4 overs, 1 for 21 on debut for the Steelbacks.
He'll be really happy with that. Like, you know, you come into a team, you've got a lot of experience behind you, you've got a lot of stats behind you, but it's all well and good until you show everyone what you can do. I think he's just really kept control of the speed of the game.
Yeah.
When an over's gone and that it's gone for quite a few, he's, level head come in and gone for, 5 and stuff and just brought it back, got the balance back in Northant's favour.
David Willey is back from the David Capel end. He said he's got 2 overs left. He's just gone for 10 off the 2 overs so far. Currently wicketless. 8 dot balls as well in those 2 overs. He's got Wayne Madsen on strike. He's 33 not out of 25 balls. Yet to find a maximum. Willey there goes for a Yorker, misses it, but gets away with it somewhat. Cover out on the boundary. Sikandar Raza patrolling that side.
Be interesting to see if Willie's back purely for 1 or whether he's going to sort of bowl himself 15 and 17 and then, back Weatherall or Scrimshaw or someone to come back, or whether it's, do you know what, let's put the pressure back on. Hopefully he'll back himself to get out of the over, not going for too many. And then that's when you bring Scrimshaw back on maybe, or Weatherall for another over.
Gone.
Oh, well bowled.
Straight through Brooke Guest, leg stump, out the grounds, and David Willey gets his first wicket of the season. Goes through the Derbyshire wicketkeeper, and the Falcons 115 for 5. Guest goes for 3. Willey gets the breakthrough.
Yeah, fantastic. The captain taking it on himself, bringing it in. Yeah, he's just moved to the leg side, hasn't he? And then lost his leg stump.
Yeah, he's tried to create a bit of room, hasn't he? It's not really done a great deal. If anything, maybe it's moved a little bit off the surface away from Brooke Guest to give the benefit of the doubt to the Falcons wicketkeeper. But his leg peg was sent flying. But here's Ross Whiteley.
Obviously, with the score as it is, was he fit? He's only faced 7 balls, but was he starting to feel that pressure a little bit, thinking, hang on a minute, should I be scoring more? And he's tried to give himself room, and Willey knows what to do and just followed him, and then there's that little nip off the seam.
Yeah, I mean, Derbyshire are still going really nicely. The run rate's just over 8. It was nearly 11s, wasn't it, during the power play? But obviously, everybody's watched enough T20 cricket to know that that's going to come down a little bit throughout the course of the game, or it does, unless you play for Sunrisers Hyderabad, and then you just go and score 300 or near as damn it in a T20. So it's kind of been expected. They're still going really nicely, but I suspect there was a bit of scoreboard pressure on Brooke Guest there. No one wants to be 3 off 6 in this scenario, knowing that you've got someone like Ross Whiteley queued up behind you.
And the overs is ticking away.
It's gone. I think Willey's on a hat-trick. Well, we've spoken up Ross Whiteley, and all he's managed to do at Northampton is nick one behind to Lewis McManus. And, well, if we thought Brooke Guess was under a bit of pressure. I think Derbyshire now they're under a bit of pressure right now.
They are. And we've spoken about Whiteley already, what does he do here? Does he go? And that just seems a very soft sort of dismissal there. First ball, he's kind of just followed it a little bit. But again, good bowling from Willie, great change to bring himself back on. And yeah, you can see what it means to him. And it gives that fire back to Northampton a little bit, because I do think Derbyshire have probably the last, 8 overs been on top.
Yeah.
And I do think now Northampton have really pulled it back. That run rate will keep going down. Pressure on the new back, number 8, number 9 coming in. The pressure will be there. But then you still got Madsen.
Yes.
Who's obviously going to keep talking to people. Strike rate's pretty good. He'll want to see it out for sure.
Yeah, just the 580 runs in the blast last year for Wayne Madsen. So
yeah, not bad.
Light work, really, isn't it?
Exactly.
David Willey on a hat trick. If this was club cricket, you'd have 9 people lurking around Alex Thompson now, wouldn't you? But it's not. This is proper cricket. So the field stays the same. Alex Thompson, fresh off a double 100 last week in the championship. Dave Willey on a hat trick. It's down the leg side.
Oh,
it's not far away, is it?
But that is the worst, isn't it? It is not very far away at all, but oh dear.
He's gone for the in-swinging Yorker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just set it up on slightly the wrong line. And it's just drifted down the leg side. No hat trick. That spoiled the party, didn't it?
But never mind.
2 in 2 is not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Going to take the fielder on. Well fielded, gets a hand to it, takes a bit of pace off of it. Alex Thompson gets off the mark. First time of asking. 117 for 6 or 14.4. 2 balls left in Dave Willey's third over. Do we get... Oh, we do get a prediction, don't we? We do get a predicted score in front of us on the screen. I was just having a look to see what kind of information might be imparted on us on this, on our scoring system here.
Ooh, well bowled.
It's another fantastic delivery from David Willey. So as it stands then, Derbyshire would be on course for 158 if they would continue to go at this rate, which conveniently is pretty much 8 and over. So I can't tell you much more than that unless I was to get my calculator out. But
I think they'll be disappointed with that. With the start that they had, I think they will be disappointed. But the pitch doesn't seem to be getting any better. It's not a bad pitch, but as in easier to bat on. There's still those loose shots that are happening.
Another Yorker, which Madsen does well to dig out. Drops it into the leg side. Dave Willey sprints from his follow through right the way to the 30-yard circle to make sure that that was only a single. 2 wickets off the over. And Derbyshire 118 for 6 now with 5 to go. That over from David Willey has somewhat just dampened those fireworks a little bit for Derbyshire.
Yeah, it has. And like I said earlier, it does swing from one way to the other. Derbyshire go and have a couple of good overs here and they are completely back at putting the pressure back onto Northampton. But you've got a batter that has only faced 1 ball, but you've got Madsen who, has been in there for a little while. So it'll be interesting to see. They've obviously got Freddie coming back on.
Yeah.
So it'll be see how they take him on. They'll be looking at the scoreboard and seeing who's got overs left and working out who they're going to sort of go after.
Yeah, well, Alex Thompson will be feeling confident. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be pushed into the offside for a single. Madsen, I think, will be very happy to have Alex Thompson on strike with him at the moment. But I suspect if these two stay together or Madsen stays there till the end, the lion's share of the balls being faced it will be that of Wayne Madsen.
Yeah, that's his role, isn't it, really, in the team over the years. He's been there sort of batting longer lengths of time and sort of farming the strike and being happy to rotate it. And but he has the ability to hit boundaries as well, as we've already seen.
Shorter ball from Heldrick, which is almost lapped down past Lewis McManus for a single. Thompson gets off strike. It is there possibly will be an over here, maybe 2 over and a half, where Derbyshire will probably have to play a little bit of risk-free cricket until until we get a little bit deeper into this innings. As I say that, and Madsen gets down on one knee and tries to run it over leg stump. Zach Chappell is carded at number 9. Terrific bowler. I'd say has the best batting stats going about. Slog sweep. That's gone straight to the fielder, I think. It's gone down. It's been grassed. George Bartlett, the man, down on the deep backwards square boundary. He didn't look like he'd picked that up early. It did go straight to him.
It went straight to him in the sort of angle, but it didn't seemed to like hold up a little bit, or he just didn't pick it as early as maybe he should have done. That's just, yeah. Some of the outfield has been a little bit disappointing, but first run out in seeing the T20.
Not going to take safe save on for a couple. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the way that this game moves so quickly, I can't sit here and work out as to how much that might have cost Northant, but there's certainly been 3 or 4 moments in the 15 overs that we've had so far that you'd think, well, you're a little bit disappointed on that looking back.
But there's also been some brilliant groundwork, quick across the field, probably where you'd think it'd be 2, it's only been 1. So there has been some really good fielding as well. And that did only cost 1. And you think actually at this point, as much as a wicket would be brilliant, only going for 1 and, Freddie, 4 off that over?
Yeah.
You're going to take that in the 15th over, aren't you?
It was that man, Wade Madsen, though. That's, I think, the only thing that we can caveat it to.
I think that is key. But look at, a couple of overs of really strong bowling against him. His strike rate's come down. 37 off 32. Still, still good. And with the wickets falling around him, he has gone into his shell a little bit more. But yeah, there was a couple of shots in the over, the missed ramp, and then that one that you think actually could be 7 down here, and you're into the batters and we're off the field before the 20 overs is done. Yeah. Good point. Well, David Willey is going to save one of the overs, and it's going to be Scrimshaw from the David Capel end. It's a pace-off delivery, which Alex Thompson, with the help of a misfield, gets that past the cover fielder and gets down the other end. Gretzky again.
I tell you, it follows you.
It does.
He's done something in the last week or so. He's left a cricket bat in the rain or something like that. He's upset Mother Cricket, and she's just kind of showing a little bit of, you need to respect this game. Yeah,
let's get that over and done with now on the field. So then when he gets the bat in his hands, there's none of that. But yeah, it does happen like that. You misfill 1 or 2, and then you're like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore, and it does follow you. And yeah, it's just the nature of the game.
Yeah, it's funny how often it happens as well. There's no reason for it, but it always seems to be the case. Scrimshaw into bowl, Madsen on strike, gives himself a bit of room, and Scrimshaw goes through him. Gone. Madsen gets the wicket. Big celebration there from George Scrimshaw as well. Gets his old mate from Derbyshire out. And the Falcons are 123 for 7 of 16.2, and Madsen's gone.
He enjoyed that one, didn't he?
Gives himself a bit of room there, and I think does nothing other than just miss it, I think.
It's not a pretty looking shot, really, but maybe the scoreboard pressure a little bit. He's, giving himself room and completely missed it. Again, they're the ones that you look really silly.
Yeah, you carve it away over point for 6 and you look like a genius, don't you? It's a harsh game, cricket, but Northants are going to feel very, very happy. They've got Alex Thompson at the crease. He's 4 off 4, and Zach Chappell is making his way out to the middle. He's at number 9 today for Derbyshire. Then to come Pat Brown and Blair Tickner. Scrimshaw has 4 left in this over.
I wonder if Blair Tickner will bat like how we did at the end of the championship game up at Derbyshire. Did have a watch of that. It was very entertaining. But completely different game, isn't it? I don't think we're going to be seeing the lunges to try and get a draw, are we?
Possibly not.
No.
Possibly not. That's gone straight up. Has that gone out the ground? It has. Wow. Zach Chappell, have a look. Zach Chappell. No, I'll just line up George Scrimshaw and I'll plant you over long on instead for 6. What a start. Welcome to the crease, Zach Chappell.
Definitely have a look. Yeah, what's everyone else been doing? No, that's just a clean hit, isn't he? He's given himself room, a little bit like Madsen tried to do, cleared the front leg, and he's just, yeah.
That's his sixth T26.
It was,
In 42 matches.
Hey.
Could be a seventh coming in a minute. I reckon he's got a license, Zach Chappell.
That was a clean hit though, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was a strike.
Yes. Is he going to get mopped up this one or go again?
He's gone again. He's given himself a bit of room. Back-to-back sixes. Six number 6 followed by 6 number 7s for Zach Chappell. That one over square leg. I believe that's 6 umpire. They've given this 4, I think, but I think that's cleared the rope, I believe.
Yeah, it has. They're changing it?
Doesn't look like it. For a second, I thought the square leg umpire was just signalling that as a 4.
Well, in our eyes, it's a 6 because it was 6.
Yeah, it's gone
down.
I
suppose it goes in the score book.
Slower ball. Oh, it's nearly just dribbled onto the stumps. Inside edge from Chappell. Can't make it 3 in a row, but I mean, what a start.
What a start, yeah.
Long levers, Zach Chappell. And yeah, have a license, Zach. 13 off 3.
It's one of those, isn't it? You get hit for a 6 and then you think as a bowler, I'm going to go shorter or you go full. And he's just picked it early, hasn't he? And he's just got himself in a really good position. And yeah, clean hit again.
Well, Scrimshaw, after 2 balls, probably thought his luck was in, particularly when he saw Zach Chappell making his way out. That one, a leading edge into the offside. It falls safe. Half a chance of a run out, which Dave Woolley can't gather cleanly. So 1 run off the last ball of the over. It was a slower ball. 17 overs have been bowled. The score's 137 for 7. Alex Thompson kept the strike with a single off the last ball.
Be interested to see if because Scrimshaw's being fairly expensive, a lot to do those, obviously 12 off those 2 balls. Because I don't think he's bowled particularly badly. But though, 12 off those 2 balls is just sort of made a slight mess of those figures.
Yeah, he's bowled some absolutely, stunning deliveries. But he has then received a little bit of tap at the same time. Freddie Heldrick is going to get a 3rd over. He's going to bowl from the Lynn Wilson centre end. He's 1 for 9 off 2 so far. Thompson takes a step outside the offside, tries to line up the sweep and can't catch up. So starts with a dot ball. Freddie's bowled well here. I don't want to put the mockers on him, but he's bowled nicely.
Chappell wants to get down the striker's end, practicing his slog sweeps.
Well, there's a chance for Chappell to get down there. They're going to have a look for 2, but I don't think that was ever on. Bretsky does the fielding, covers the grounds, makes sure it is only 1. Means that Zach Chappell is on strike. Any thought that we're going to see anything other than a big swing here from Zach Chappell?
I think he's going to go for a slog sweep first ball.
Yeah.
From what he's just been practicing at the non-striker's end, yeah.
Nice easy single down to deep cover if he wanted to shape that one.
I don't think so. Let's see.
There we go. Down towards cow corner. Holds up in the grass nicely and Bretsky comes round to do the fielding. 2 runs added. The big bottom hand of Zach Chappell comes out. I'm enjoying the innings though. This is genuinely really fun.
He's got license, isn't he?
15 off 4.
He's not going to hang around too long.
Definitely not. It has brought about a conversation here from the captain as well. Captain and bowler.
Yeah, I don't mean sort of I can't see him hitting Freddie over onto the offside like at long off. Sorry, I think it's going to be going onto the leg side. Yeah, I'll be doing him a disservice here, but that bottom hand I think is going to play a big part.
Gives himself room. And Freddie follows him, but does fire that one down the leg side. A good take from Lewis McManus, but it does mean that Freddie Heldrick's going to have to bowl another one to Zach Chappell. He's 15 off 4, the Derbyshire number 9. That one toe-ended down the ground to save, put him under a bit of pressure, but only ever going to be 1.
is good from Freddie.
It's good. That run rate, though, for the Falcons is still at 8.
It is, yeah.
As well as Northants have bowled in patches, the odd over here or there has just kind of kept Derbyshire going consistently as Hayton over. Another single added.
Yeah, it was, when Bopara was bowling, he was the one that was bringing it back. Then obviously they'd get away, and then Willie had that fantastic over, brought it back. But then Scrimshaw's next over, those 2 hits from Chapel obviously ruined that. And yeah, makes all the difference. Just Northants are going to want to get out of the last 2 with as little damage as possible. But also now Derbyshire have got wickets in hand, so they can go for it, can't they, a little bit?
Yeah, Chapel tried to get a little bit cheeky there, tried to run it down to fine leg, but went straight to the fielder at the 45. Another good over for Freddie Heldrick. The score is 143 for 7 with 2 overs to go. David Willey is going to bowl his last and the penultimate from the David Capel end. 3 overs, no maidens, 2 for 14. Those 2 wickets that came back-to-back, that of Brooke Guest and Ross Whiteley. He's going to have Alex Thompson on strike. And I mean, where do we go, Trish? Do we go Rafi? Do we go George Scrimshaw? Do we go Sikandar Raza? Do we go Fred Heldrick for the last over?
Part of me says let's go Freddie Heldrick. I really do, because I think he's bowled tidily.
Hill for LBW, but that one drifting down.
Weatherall, a lot of pressure, did really well in the first over, didn't on the second when they went after him a little bit. But then again, do you know what? I trust you. I trust you to open the bowl second over. I'm trusting you to see us out. I don't know about Raza, I'll be honest. I think for me it's Weatherall or Heldrick.
Yeah.
That's where I'd go if I was captaining.
Yorker again. The big swing from Zach Chapel cannot connect. Otherwise, I think that one might have cleared the... that might have been in the back gardens on Abingdon Avenue, I think, that one, if he'd have connected with it.
Yeah, that would have stayed hit, I think.
That'd have been a Kevin Peterson 12. Dot ball, though, for Northants. Well, we'll see in 4 balls' time just how closely in sync the T20 skipper is with yourself, Trish. Just one. I'd be tempted. I don't know whether I'd be tempted. I think Scrimshaw. I think you go Scrimshaw with the experience. I think left arm wrist spin, possibly a little bit risky for the last one. It's a bold move. I don't mind it.
You don't see it very often, do you? You don't often see the spin, but I'm like, do you just... I don't know.
Give it a gamble. Dave Willey, 3 to go. Yorker again, inside edge, I think that time from Thompson. Half an appeal from the Northants fielders, but it's going to be... wasn't, in fact. It was a leg by. Dave Willey not interested.
It's one of those... You look at, obviously, the stats. Weatherall's gone at 10 and over.
Yep.
Scrimshaw, what?
Nearly 30.
Yeah. You like it, but do you go experience over stats?
Yep.
It's a hard one. And you also think, what would Chapel like? Pace on the ball or pace off the ball? And for me, I'd probably say pace off the ball.
Yeah. It's hard to argue from what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
From Zach Chapel. Full start there from David Willey. Just lost his run there, didn't he? Jogging back to the end of his mark. Don't know how close we are. Do we have a cut-off? Cut-off is 19:48. So that was a while ago. That was 5 minutes ago.
Maybe that's incorrect.
Yorker from Willey. Well bowled. Chapel drops it into the leg side. Has a look for a second, but Thompson rightfully turns him down. Well, if that's the case, Northants will get punished here, won't they, for being a bit tardy. Last ball of David Willey's final over. Thompson advances, plays it nicely through the leg side. Again, we'll have a look for a couple, but was never going to be on. Well fielded. Single to finish the over. So it's 148 for 7 with 6 balls left. And Trish, you were absolutely spot on. Fred Heldrick has taken the cap off. He's going to bowl the last one.
I was also wondering whether it'd be slightly different depending on what battle's on strike for the last over, like to the start of the last over, whether that would make a difference. But yeah, I just think they've got to create all the power. Yeah. I think with how Scrimshaw has gone, as much as we've said he's not bowled badly, it's, you have still got that ex-teammates against who was going to win the battle.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chappell won the battle in the last over of Scrimshaw.
Down the ground and straight over. David Willey at mid-off for 4. Not the start that we would have wanted there.
No.
And a good start for Derbyshire. Get the boundary off the first ball. Takes just a little bit of pressure off the rest of the over. Obviously, I'm sure the game plan for the next 5 is to pick up 5 more boundaries. But now you've got that first one away.
Yeah, the pressure is a little bit, well, it's back on Freddie, isn't it, to try not to go for any more boundaries and just think, do you know what, 1s or 2s here I'll be happy with.
Yeah. Change in the field as well. David Willey's gone out to long off and the man at deep cover has come into the circle.
Bowled.
Really well bowled. I don't know whether has he just seen Thompson advance then and just maybe picked it up, ended up creating a little bit of a Yorker for himself. 4 balls left in the innings. That one through the offside beats that fielder that's come up into the circle, and that is going to be 4. A bit of width and a bit of length offered by Heldrick. Thompson doesn't miss out.
So this again, so I spoke about a little bit earlier about field. He might have just completely missed where he was actually aiming to bowl there, but he's been hit over, long or off, and then like into the cover area, but we've got 3 on the leg side. I'm just...
Yeah.
Look, it happens. Bowlers, you set up a plan and you miss it slightly, but yeah. At 8 off the last, he'll be, feeling a bit under pressure now.
He's got 3 to go. As you said, he's gone for 8 off the first 3 balls of the over. Derbyshire still at 8 and over. Northants have wrestled it back a little bit, but not been able to claw it back much. That one was on offer to go over the leg side, but I think it might have beaten Thompson there for a little bit of lack of pace, and Thompson just Q-ended that one back to Heldrick. So it's been 4.4. Thompson with 2 to go, 16 off 5. Gives himself room, goes over the offside. I think David Willey is down in that corner. It's certainly not going to go to the boundary, but Thompson is going to come back for a couple. So it's 10 off the first 5 of Heldrick's over. Last ball. 158 for 7. Anything around 160 just feels like such a game on score, doesn't it? It's kind of the perfect T20 blast innings. Slog sweep, it's gone straight up. It's gone over Scrimshaw. He's not going to catch it. Is he going to stop it from the rope? He isn't. It's going to be 4. Freddie Heldrick with the double teapots. Can't believe it. 162 for 7 off 20 overs, the Derbyshire Falcons.
What was that, 13 off that last over?
Yeah.
Look, that could happen to anybody, couldn't it? And yeah, you've got to think they know that they've only got 6 balls to face. They've got wickets in hand. They're going to try and get as many as they can. 162, I think it's a very competitive score. Obviously, earlier I said double from where they are, 100, I think I said, didn't I? 180 or something.
Yeah.
So I think Northants will be happy with sort of clawing that back, especially when Reese was going for it. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how Derbyshire bowl on it and how they utilise their bowling.
Yeah, well, Derbyshire get the benefit of learning from Northants, don't they, through that first innings. They'll have seen what's worked. Fair enough, they won't have the same personnel, the same skill set. But if we think it is a pace-off pitch and a cutter's pitch and it's a bit sticky, then Derbyshire will get that immediate feedback and be able to start their innings straight away. We'll just run you through the scorecard quickly before we take a little 5-minute breather between innings. Harry Kane was the first wicket to fall. He was caught by George Bartlett off the bowling of Rafi Weatherall for 5. Lewis Reese made 22. David Lloyd, a blistering 41 off 22. Wayne Madsen, 37 off 33. A long innings that just couldn't quite get going, and Northants dragged him back into a little bit of reality here. Samit Patel, short stay, was beaten for pace by Scrimshaw, 2 off 3. Brooke Guest, 3 off 7, couldn't get going. Ross Whiteley, who we expected to turn up and launch a few into the houses, caught behind first ball from David Willey. Alex Thompson, 22. Zach Chappell, 18 off 9 with 2 sixes off the first 2 deliveries. David Willey, 2 for 17 off 4. Rafi Weatherall, 1 for 20 off 2. George Scrimshaw, 2 for 38 off 3. Sikander Raza, wicketless for 32 off 3 overs. Ravi Papara, 1 for 21. And Freddie Heldrick, 1 for 29. Yeah, let's catch our breath and we'll be back for the start of the second innings.
Steelbacks big box Rachel West, who says, can I have a little bit about rudimentary feel the ball to help keep us walking. Good shots. We are back in T20 action at Walton Road on Sunday. Be there on Sunday for a thrilling T20 double header. First up, we've got the Sunrisers taking on Northern Diamonds at 11:30 in the Charlotte Hills Golf. Then the Steelbacks take on the Yorkshire Vikings at 3:30 in the Vitality Flats. There'll be loads going on around the ground. We'll have face painting about Newcastle and great ways to help support our newly established Steelbacks Foundation. One ticket gets you access to both games. Tickets will be available at nccc.co.uk/blast. The World Championship of Legends is coming to Walton Road this summer from the 8th to the 12th of July. Catch some of its finest. We've got the likes of Kevin Peterson, Chris Dale, Shahida Freedy, all going head to head in some scintillating T20 cricket. Tickets can be bought on our website, nccc.co.uk/WCM. And we've got 3 cracking Friday night last games at Walton Road this year. Be there to watch the Steelbacks on the Friday night nights. No better place to be on a summer's Friday. Save in advance on your tickets. Buy early and save early. ncc.co.uk/blast. Ready for a huge second innings. Steelbacks looking for 163 in the chase. Derbyshire, their first innings were 162 for 7. Let's get our second innings underway. We welcome back to the middle our umpires, Rob Bailey and Ben Devon. The fielding side for the second innings, led by Captain Sammy Patel, welcome back Derbyshire Falcons. And opening the batting in the chase for the Steelbacks, number 27, sponsored by Curo Well, Ricardo Maspencelos, and number 3, sponsored by Cinch, Matt Gretzky.
Here we go then, cricket fans. The players are making their way back out to the middle. First innings, Derbyshire made 162 for 7. Having been asked to bat first here at Wantage Road by David Willey. Therefore, the Steelbacks need 163 to win off 20 overs at a run rate of 8.15. And the Steelbacks openers tonight, Ricardo Vasconcelos and South African overseas Matt Bretsky. Opening the bowling from the David Capel end, Zach Chappell. We've seen him whack a few sixes earlier this evening, but he's got the ball in hand now. The stream at Northamptonshire is powered by Daffabet. My name is Dan Jadzovic. I'm joined by Trish Hankins. If I gave you a quid, which side are you putting it on at the moment?
Northants.
Done. There we go. No question about it.
No question.
At all.
With the batting lineup that is on the cards, then, you know, got to back the boys. But, you know, Zach Chappell's going to be feeling it a little bit after hitting those runs at the end. So he'll have his tail up, I'm sure, and want to be putting it in the right areas.
Shorter ball pulled away by Vasconcelos. Good on the pull is Ricardo. Hooked the first ball of a championship innings for 6 earlier this season. Had a good season last year as well in the Blast. Scored 341 runs in 2023. He's got himself off the mark and opened his account straight away. Matt Bretsky then facing his first ball for Northants. Had a tough time in the field, but through no lack of effort, he put a serious shift in. Just a couple of those boundary catches wrong. Let's see how he goes here against Zach Chappell. Chappell starts with pace on and Bretsky drops it into the offside for a single. I don't know whether we need a bit of sawdust or whether the wicket just needs a little bit of running repair or not. Signal over to the ground staff.
On it comes, the sawdust.
On the way, the bucket of sawdust. They don't really, unless one of them does a bit of carpentry in the spare time. That means that's a purchase, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. I always find this fascinating as well. So obviously, no one from the Northants team asked for any sawdust.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had Weatherall fall over on his first ball, but that could have been just wanting to hit the crease hard. And now, yeah, Zach Chappell's not happy. Wants a bit of sawdust.
Hey, why not? Why not? Maybe that's where all the old stumps go after the end of a season. Anyway, after a bit of a delay, Chappell is making his way down towards the end of his mark. Vasconcelos is back on strike. 2 singles coming off the first 2 balls. Pitched up, driven, straight at mid-off. It's going to be a dot ball. Chappell was the 3rd leading wicket taker in the Blast in 2023. Picked up 26 wickets across the course of the campaign. They have also added Pat Brown. He picked up 24 wickets last year in the Blast for Worcestershire. They got a few in them.
Yeah, I remember watching Pat Brown at Worcestershire last year when I went across to watch Northants. And he's been a good bowler, hasn't he? for the last few years. Obviously, sort of burst onto the scene, a few ODIs. Then he seemed to go quite quiet, although he said they still took quite a few wickets last year. So adding him to the Derbyshire setup along with Chappell, and obviously you got Patel now as well, haven't you? That most games you're guaranteed 4 overs out of him, and yeah, he might go for a few on the occasion, but generally will bowl quite tidily. So it's a good bowling attack.
Bretsky plays the same shot he did the first time around to get off the mark, just drops that one into the offside for a single. Wasn't the greatest trip to the West Indies for Matt Bretsky. Not many people would say that out loud, I don't think, but scores of 19, 12 and 5 in South Africa's tour of Jamaica. Overpitched from Chappell, driven square by Vasconcelos. They're going to have a look for a couple, but the ball is in the hand of Ross Whiteley down on the boundary. Keeps it down to 1. 5 runs off the first over. Vasconcelos on 3. Matt Bretsky on 2. Good start for Derbyshire. That rate just climbed up a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Every over that you're below, obviously the run rate is going to keep building. Then it puts the pressure on the batters. But if we look at Derbyshire's innings, we know that 1 over can completely swing it in the favour of the other team. So Northants won't be thinking too much of that. They'll have a plan in their mind of where they want to be at the power play. And there was no risk in any of that first over, was it? They were happy to tick it around.
Yeah. Interesting, Samit Patel sees it slightly differently to David Willey. As I said before the interval, Derbyshire have had the benefit here of watching what's worked on this pitch for the Steelbacks. And they've actually elected to open with spin from the Lynn Wilson centre end. They're going to bring in the off-spin bowler, Alex Thompson. Picked up 20 wickets in 25 T20s so far in his career. Vasconcelos on strike. Wow, what a shot.
That's a lovely shot.
Just loads up, doesn't he, and drives it through the covers. He didn't think there was a gap there, but Vasconcelos has found one, and that's 4 off the first ball of Alex Thompson's over.
That's a glorious cricket shot in any format that you play.
You look at the field, and I still don't know where that gap was.
No, and the fielders didn't even move, did they? They sort of just accepted that that's 4 runs.
Oh, it's gone through the keeper. They're going to take a run. I think that's going to be byes. It is. No edge involved from Vasconcelos, but it's Meg's Brooke Guest behind the stump, so another one to the tally. Bretsky on strike now with the off-spinner. Same field by the looks of it. Left-hand, right-hand combination for Northants at the top of the order, just to give Samit Patel something else to think about. 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle, 1 at long on, 1 at deep mid-wicket. Everybody else you can pretty much see on screen once it pans out. Bretsky just tries to beat Thompson down to Pat Brown for the single. Can't get it past the bowler, though. Good comeback here for Thompson, having been smeared for 4 off the first ball. Into the surface. Takes the single out to that fielder. That was really well paced, wasn't it, by Bretsky?
Yeah, he just took the pace off his shot there, and they just ran through. That's what they just need to keep doing, is be busy at the crease, keep rotating the strike, and then when the boundary ball comes, it's when we have periods of time, which Northants did against Derbyshire, where it was dot, 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 and then there was either a wicket. Sometimes, yes, there was a boundary, but if Northants can just keep rotating the strike, have that understanding between the batters, then that run rate doesn't climb too high.
No, that's going to be turned into the leg side just for a single. So a single to finish the second over. Good over for Thompson, good over for Derbyshire. 12 for no loss after 2. Vasconcelos, 8 off 8. Bretsky, 3 off 4. Vasconcelos has kept the strike again. Is Zach Chappell going to bowl again? He's not. We're going to get a change of bowling from the David Capel end this evening straight away. So Samit Patel shuffling the pack for the Falcons. We're going to see New Zealand international Blair Tickner didn't walk out with the bat. You teed him up, didn't you, from that kind of front foot defence masterclass up at Derby the other week?
It was very entertaining. I mean, when it was getting so close anyway, the whole game was entertaining, but just the way he was making sure he was covering everything. And I mean, he did end up getting out, which, I wouldn't have minded to see him in the T20 to see how we went.
Oh, he starts quick and he hits Vasconcelos in the midriff. Good start for Blair Tickney. He's played 34 internationals for New Zealand. That one there, just 81.5 mile an hour. I thought that kept a little bit lower than Vasconcelos thought.
What did we see Weatherall out? Similar sort of pace?
Weatherall, was similar pace. Scrimshaw got up to about 87, 88.
Yeah.
Ramp, has he got it over? There's interest. He has. He's got enough of it. It's not going to run away due to the nature of the outfield this evening. David Lloyd, it is, does the fielding in front of us, and Vasconcelos adds another couple of runs. He's going at 100 strike rate at the moment, 10 off 10.
I also like that, he got hit first ball and he's going, I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to drop down on one knee and ramp you.
He had a little bit of practice, didn't he, last weekend in the game here against Yorkshire?
Yes, of course.
Width on offer. That's a square drive. That's beaten the fielder at point. Has it beaten the fielder on the boundary? It has. Ross Whiteley can't get there. Vasconcelos gets for his second boundary of the innings.
Another nice shot as well. Not too much flair or anything. Just play the ball nice and late.
If there's a bit of a gap here, Trish, we need to talk about Sunday. And we need to discuss the double header. We need to discuss the charity day. But maybe at the end of the power play, we can have a run through. Oh, it's inside edge, I think, from Vasconcelos there. Not far away from off stump. Dive from the keeper, stops it, makes sure it's only a dot ball. It's pace off as well from Tickner. But we need to talk about Sunday.
Yes, we definitely do. I mean, there's going to be lots of good cricket, but there's also lots of other things going on. So we'll definitely have a chat.
So if I don't tee you up,
I'll bring it in.
Just
That's absolutely
interrupt
fine.
me. Just go for it. Plus, if we can sell a few more tickets as well, that sounds like a good idea. Down the leg side. Is that going to be wide signalled? It is. I think that's a little bit harsh.
It's a batter's game, isn't it?
Says the bowler in the commentary box. But Vasconcelos has moved a long way there. He's gone outside off stump. Tickner's almost tried to hide the ball from him, hasn't he? And drifted down and missed leg stump. But wide signalled. One extra for Northants. 2 left in this Tickner over. Pace on. Vasconcelos tries to guide it down to backward point. Can't make contact. $19 for no loss off 2.5. And I think we're going to have a bit of sawdust again. So what's going on Sunday?
I mean, there's some really good cricket being played, obviously with a double header, seeing Sunrisers versus Northern Diamonds. But then we've got Steelbacks Yorkshire, and obviously we've had seen the announcement that Joe Root is playing for Yorkshire. So I think that should bring a few more people in.
Yeah.
But the recently established Steelbacks Foundation is the charity partner for the day. So we're looking to raise as much money as we can so that we can go out and deliver cricket in Northamptonshire. But we've got lots of activities, so lots of opportunities to win some prizes, whether that's a £50 voucher for the shop here at the county ground, by guessing how many balloons we've got in the van, in our Steelbacks van.
Okay.
We've got some stocks. So we're going to be putting people in the stocks and getting people to pay to throw sponges at people. So we're going to try and get a few names from the county club in there to raise some money. But we've also during between 2 and 3 o'clock, we've got some skills competitions going on in the indoor school, where children between 5 and 13 can pay £5, come in, take part in some quick cricket, but also some competitions to win some places on the summer camps that we run.
Single to finish the third over. Vasconcelos keeps the strike once again. He's on 15. So count the balloons.
Yeah.
Trish is going to get in some stock so people can throw sponges at her. There's going to be skills and quick cricket in the indoor centre.
We've also got a raffle with some really good prizes, some really nice hampers, a framed signed ball from the 2022 squad. We've also got And actually, Ricardo has done a brilliant. He's donated a lot of his old like training kit and playing kit.
Yeah.
So we've got like a player memorabilia sale where you might be able to get one of his old shirts for a few pound, as well as selling bats and ball sets and everything. So just trying to raise not only the profile of the foundation and everything that we're trying to achieve, but also raise some money so that we can go out and deliver what we want to deliver. Really
fantastic. Looking forward to it. Well, Pat Brown is into the attack for the first time. Fourth bowler used by Samit Patel. That is pulled through mid-wicket, but can't beat the fielder in the circle. So tickets are on sale now. Save yourself a few quid if you buy them in advance.
Yeah.
The weather forecast looks really good for Sunday. And as you said, 11:30 in the morning, Sunrisers, the local team in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, take on the Northern Diamonds.
Yeah.
And if I give you any more incentive, I'm commentating both games. So there's another reason to come in the ground, so you don't have to listen. And then in the afternoon, we've got the Steelbacks versus the Vikings in the Blast. That's a bit squarer. That's going to put the fielder under a bit of pressure. He does well, picks it up clean, make sure it's only a single.
And like you said, obviously Sunrisers are the local regional team, but we've got 3 of the Northants women that play for the Sunrisers. So the only thing I think for a lot of us is it's a club Sunday. So for a lot of the women will be playing, but we will be, I'll be here working. But yeah, it's great to have 3 of the Northants, local girls representing Sunrisers. So I'm sure lots of their family will be in supporting. And if I can, I might try and get Jo in the stocks. I know she's coming in, I believe, commentating with you later on, but I'd pay a few quid for a sponge at Jo.
I think you could have a few people lining up as well. So if she turns up a bit soggy, then in the commentary box, we'll know you've managed to get her in there.
I will have towels to help.
Depends how many people are buy the sponges, hey. But yeah, get your tickets ahead of Sunday. Bring your sun cream as well, because it's going to be a good day.
Finally going to have some sun.
If anybody can remember what it looks like. Pace off from Brown. What a shot that is by Bretsky. Introduce yourself to the Steelbacks fans, Matt Bretsky. No worries. I'll pick up a Pat Brown slower ball over cover for 6 off the back foot.
Wow. What a shot that is. That's I'm calling it shot of the day. Look at that.
That's outrageous.
Off the bats, like it's just come off the bat. Oh, wow.
It's definitely a contender with David Lloyd's slog sweep early on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's up there.
It's up there.
Definitely up there. And I appreciate you are slightly biased. So
yeah, I am biased, but no, that was a glorious shot, to be fair as well.
9 off 6 for Bretsky. Pat Brown into bowl. That one pace on.
Great reply.
Yeah, turns it into the leg side. Looking for that single. Can't beat the fielder in there at mid-wicket. Run rate for the Steelbacks currently just over 7. It's creeping up towards 8.5 and over required. 27 for no loss off 3.5 overs. So 1 ball left in Pat Brown's opening over for the Falcons. Gone for 7 so far. And he's got a wicket as well. Bretsky, shot of the day, backed up with a mistimed pull through mid-wicket. And he picks out the fielder. He's gone for 9 off 7 on debut for the Steelbacks. Pat Brown gets the breakthrough. And the South African overseas is gone.
That's a great comeback from Pat Brown, really. You know, if you think he's gone for 7, of which 1 was a 6, he's bowled a really good over, created that pressure. And whether Bretsky thought I could go up and over, but yeah, picked him out.
David Willey in at number 3, as you would have just heard through RFX mic. The skipper taking responsibility at the top of the order. Good choice of walkout song as well. I don't know whether he's chosen that, but that's a strong shout.
You would think they would get a choice of, wouldn't you?
I would think so.
But that is yeah.
It's a big statement, that song.
Big statement.
And if there's a guy in Steelbacks cricket that's capable of living up to that statement, it's certainly going to be David Willey on a hat-trick earlier this evening. Vasconcelos is on strike though. That one pace off down to Pat Brown on the boundary. picks up a single. He's 17 off 17, and David Willey will face up against his first ball of the evening. That from Blair Tickner.
2 left-handers now.
Makes Samit Patel's job a little bit easier as captain for the Falcons. Makes the bowler's job a little bit easier as well, having 2 of the same to bowl to. There obviously is a fairly noticeable difference in height. So
yeah, just a little bit.
Nice shot from David Willey. Textbook cover drive, but straight at Samit Patel for a dot ball. So although Blair Tickner's now got the ability to bowl at 2 left-handers, the line is fine, but the length will change.
Yeah, it absolutely will. We obviously saw him bowl a little bit shorter to Ricardo in the first over, but he'll want to be getting it a little bit further up there, I think, for David Willey.
Well bowled. David Willey happy to have a look at a couple from Blair Tickner. Pace off, he's varied his pace a lot, Blair Tickner, in these 9 balls that he's bowled so far, and it's been quite a big variation as well. There's been kind of a 13, 14 mile an hour difference between his fastest to his slowest. Nicely turned around the corner by David Willey. He's going to get himself off the mark with a single.
I think with that as well, not just only is it the varying in pace, but because we've said about the pitch and those difference of paces will just hold up slightly different as well. So it will make the batter think, can I go through this, or do I need to just hold off a little bit? But it's clear from David Willey, I know he's only faced 3 balls, but that he's happy just to, see what Tickner's doing. Give him, shot.
Down the ground from Vasconcelos. Overpitched from Tickner. I had a feeling something needed to happen there because Northants were kind of creeping towards being 20 behind Derbyshire at the end of this over. As it is, Vasconcelos has picked up Blair Tickner back over his head for a couple of bounces down the ground for 4. Something really satisfying about Blair Tickner's bowling action as well. The 2 hands together here, there's a really kind of pronounced load up. Short ball, that could well be a wide, I think. No, it's a no ball, signalled by the umpire. Well over Ricardo Vasconcelos' head, out of reach.
It wouldn't have been for Willey, though, would it?
No, I think it would have been okay for Dave.
But that is, as much as we sort of laugh about it, for a bowler, you do have to adjust and you have to think about that. That would have been absolutely fine for David Willey.
Yeah.
But for Ricardo, no ball, bowl it again.
Oh, is it pick a bill for LBW? Umpire not interested. He's moved straight away. I think Blair Tickner liked that, Leg byes signalled to end the over. 36 for 1 after 5. At the same stage, the Falcons were 49 for 1. So a 13-run advantage at the moment for the Falcons. And Zach Chappell's back into the attack.
You sort of say about Tickner's action, as a coach, sort of we all say about when bowlers are running in to really be pumping their arms. So it's quite interesting because obviously with him holding the ball, I'm sure some of that is to cover the seam and everything. But his arms are sort of going across his body. It's quite interesting to see, but he gets all that momentum into the crease, and he's a tall lad, isn't he, as well? So you get that extra bounce from that, and he bowls at good pace as well.
He certainly does, as does Zach Chappell. He makes his way into bowl from the Lynn Wilson Centre. Back of a length. Vasconcelos takes a quick single through to Thompson, who might have just been on his heels there at mid-off a little bit. Vasconcelos adds another one. 22 off 21 for the Northants opener. Just ticking along nicely at the moment. David Willey 1 off 3. Where are the 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle? Where are we? Backward point and deep square as well, aren't they? So unlikely to be pitched up here from Zach Chappell. It is, and actually it's gone straight up. It's probably going to bring about the wicket. It's a simple catch, and it's gone. David Willey, the skipper for the Steelbacks, has to go for 1 off 4. Falcons have got the home team 37 for 2. A little bit of panic stations here for the Steelbacks.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got plenty of batting there, but yeah, you'd be disappointed to lose Willey so soon. I don't know really if there was anything. I think it was a bit of a loose shot, wasn't it? rather than like get stuck in the pitch or anything.
I think it might have been a nod to the last couple of overs, really. The wicket of Bretsky, 1.1. Obviously, the bit of a get-out shot from Vasconcelos down the ground. He didn't really time it, did he?
No,
But
no.
got the boundary. Obviously, the no ball, then the leg by, the single again, and that pressure was just starting to build. That run rate now required is nearly 8.6 over.
So immediate pressure on the new batters that come in.
Yeah, and that new batter is Ravi Bopara. He joins Ricardo Vasconcelos at the crease. Tries to time that one through the leg side to start his innings. Was Sussex's leading run scorer in the Blast last summer was Ravi Bopara, 408 runs in the tournament. And a fantastic signing, I think, for the Steelbacks to bring somebody with his experience and in that form as well from last year up to the county. I'm sure there would have been a few people eyeing him up and looking for his signature. Square drive, edgy it was, but it's going to beat the fielder down at backward point. I don't think it meant to go there, but it doesn't matter for Ravi Bopara. He's off the mark with a boundary.
Yeah, he's been around and played a lot of T20 cricket all around the world, and he's got vast amounts of experience, but he's got the form still with him. Like sometimes you see players sort of holding on maybe for a few more seasons than they should have done, and their stats coming down and everything. But yeah, Sussex leading run scorer, like still taking wickets. He's still good in the field. Yeah, he's got a few more years, I reckon.
Short ball, cut away, straight to the fielder, who gets an encouraging round of applause from those that have made their way in and are loitering around the beer tent. Bit of home advantage there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just go on. Did you fancy letting that one go through your legs?
Although I don't think he misfielded the last one, did he?
No.
It was edgy and it went down there, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit harsh, that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really?
it was. But again, that's what happens. You're going to get it from the home fans, aren't you?
Big shot down the ground. Has it beaten him? No. Thompson does really, really well. I think for a second there, Vasconcelos would have been eyeing up his fourth boundary of the innings, but an outstretched hand from Thompson saves 3 runs. Where are we? End of the power play. 43 for 2. Steelbacks have got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, so not only are they sort of behind where obviously Derbyshire were run-wise, but they've lost that additional wicket, which we sort of saw Derbyshire not rebuild as such, but they didn't lose their second wicket until the 7th over. Okay, it's only 1 over, but it was the runs, I think, is the big thing here.
Yeah, Samit Patel coming into the attack as well. End of the power play, skipper brings himself on. As we well know, gets that bit of extra protection. 5 fielders outside the circle. I'll let you know where they are after this delivery. He starts with a single to one of those fielders. Vasconcelos adds another one to his tally. Will just be a little bit of a change here in the field. So we've got long off, long on. We've got a deep mid, where are we? Deep cover point, deep extra cover even, a deep mid wicket and a deep backward square. That's defended down into the leg side. The umpire confused me there.
Yeah, he's standing at point, isn't he?
Big shot over the offside. I think Bopara's got it.
He has.
There was one fielder to beat on the boundary. That was Pat Brown. And Bopara's timed that really nicely over the covers, down towards the ComSave stand, the Blast Plus members.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, I'm getting good at this, aren't I? Good shot from Bopara, 9 off 5. Gets the boundary, drops it into the leg side, gets the single to get down the other end. Did I say Samit Patel played 401, didn't I?
Yes.
So that's 864 T20s between Samit Patel and Ravi Bopara.
That is crazy. And the thing is, think about how many different teams they've played for, how many different countries they've like visited and played. Like amazing. What an opportunity. Look at that.
That's Ravi Babara's
Wow.
list there.
There is a lot there. But what an opportunity.
Driven through the offside again. Uppish. Well clear of the fielder on the circle. Be a single to finish Samit Patel's first over. 7 overs now have been bowled. 51 for 2. Currently 11 behind where Derbyshire were at this stage. Run rate required 8.62. Steelbacks currently going at 7.29. Ravi Bapari kept the strike at the end of the last over. He's 11 off 7 with a couple of 4s. And Ricardo Vasconcelos, who's been there since the start, 25 off 24 with 3 4s as well. Alex Thompson, he bowled the second over of the day. He's back into the attack. So far in this game, that first over went for 6. Alex Thompson was better than handy, wasn't it, for the Falcons up in the power play? Give Samit Patel options as well. If you can sneak through an over of spin up top, you've got a little bit more flexibility, haven't you, when you go further into the innings?
Especially when he only went for 6 as well. Great start in the power play.
Shorter ball, pulled away by Bapara for a single. Down to Pat Brown on the boundary. He does well. Don't want Ricardo Vasconcelos to get frustrated here. 25 off 24 isn't going to be enough to get Northants over the line. But a runner ball for 50 or 60 with 1 or 2 teammates that get in the other end starts to look really handy.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing here. Yes, like I said, we're slightly behind them and we've lost that additional wicket, but the fact that Ricardo's still there, being like someone that's batted from the beginning, just helps us. But Derbyshire are doing everything that they would want to be doing at this point. Yes, they might feel that they were maybe underachieved slightly with the bat from certain periods that they had, but they've started really, really well with the ball.
Yeah, controlling the game nicely, aren't they? Right now, the bowler's bowling to the plans that Samit Patel is setting for them, making it difficult for Northants. Slog sweep, doesn't get all of it, but I think he's going to get 4, actually. Not where it was meant to go, but that's not going to bother Vasconcelos. Beats the fielder on the inside and gets 4 runs. 58 for 2. 2 balls left in Thompson's second over. I forgot those kind of firework cannon things that make the commentary box shake as they go off. Slog sweep this time. That's gone up. That's gone out of the ground, over the tents. Back-to-back boundaries for Vasconcelos. That is a shot and a half.
It is, yeah. And they're not... Thompson bowled a really good first over, but Ricardo's like, I'm not going to let you just bowl at me. You know, he was down early for that, and he's committed. And there was someone out on the boundary, but he's cleared them by quite a bit, and it's gone over the top of the beer tent. So that'll please a few people that I'm sure have had a few beers down there.
Yeah, has the ball made its way back? I think it might even be out the ground. I don't know whether it did clear the fence or not, or whether it skipped off the tarmac afterwards. You'll get a replay of it here. Ben on the camera does a brilliant job at tracking this. All eyes on it. Where have we gone? Oh, I don't know. Oh, it has come back. Good news, it's come back.
This is when you don't want a new ball to be given. A bit softer now.
Bit of a lump missing out of it,
yeah.
maybe. Thompson then, last ball of his over. Back-to-back boundaries for Vasconcelos. And turns that one into the leg side really nicely. Gets the single at the end of the over. Keeps the strike. 8 overs done. 64, 65 for 2, the score.
That's just sensible cricket, isn't it? You know, took the 4, 6. I don't need to go again. Again, brought the run rate back to really 8.1, which is where they were when they started. Or, sorry, we're at 8. Northants are at 8.1 and then required is 8.2. So, yeah, that 1 over just brings it completely back to level, really.
Yeah, still a little bit. What are they? 6 behind? But between friends, what's 6 runs?
1 shot.
Exactly.
Chappell's first ball.
One of those slog sweeps over the beer tent. choose your poison, really. You take whichever way it comes. Who have we got from the David Capel end? Pat Brown is back into the attack for the Falcons. 1 for 7. That's mistimed from Vasconcelos, but again, I think that's going to put the Falcons fielder under a bit of pressure, and he can't catch it up. Vasconcelos hasn't got that anywhere near the middle of the bat, but he's picked up another 4.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was going there at all, did it? It was... Yeah.
Just quietly here, Trish. That runner ball has now suddenly turned into a 41 off 29 for Ricardo. Pat Brown into bowl again. This one through the cover, a little bit squarer, and that is going to be cut off before it reaches the boundary. So picks up the 4, gets the single.
It's that simple thing. Like I said, cricket's simple, isn't it? When you're sitting here and you think, but bat time enables you to then, you know, build that innings. And yeah, okay, you're only at run a ball or slightly less, but 1 over or 2, even 2 shots can completely change that. But you've got to be able there to do it and, you know, play sensible cricket at the same time.
Bapara now on strike, 13 off 9. Nicely guided down behind point. Call of 2, but Derbyshire do really well to keep that down to a single. Bapara now at this stage as well can bat and just get Vasconcelos back on strike.
Yeah, kind of, not that he needs to learn from Ricardo, because obviously Bapara's been around for quite a lot of games. But yeah, just build that innings. Let Ricardo take the sort of the game to Derbyshire.
Gives himself room, cuts it away over point, but I think he's picked him out. He has. Pat Brown gets his 2nd wicket. He's got both openers of the Steelbacks. And Northamptonshire are now 3 down. Vasconcelos could not have picked out. I think it's Ross Whiteley down on that boundary. It is Ross Whiteley. He couldn't have picked him out any better if he tried. But it's a good innings and a good start for the Northants opener. He's gone for 42 off 30.
That's great bowling from Pat Brown. He's set him up there, hasn't he? You can see Ricardo's very frustrated with that because, like you said, he's literally just picked him out. Whiteley didn't even really have to move, did he? But no, well done to Derbyshire and Pat Brown in particular there to bowl into that plan.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, a good innings at the top of the order for Ricardo Vasconcelos. 42 off 30, 31 in fact, 5 fours and a 6, striking at 135. And his departure brings about the arrival of the Zimbabwe international cricketer, Sikandar Raza. He's got 2 balls at the end of Pat Brown's 2nd over to face up against. Pat Brown, 10 balls, 2 for 13 for the new signing for the Falcons. And that's an absolute beauty to start up, isn't it? Raza's just had a little poke at that as it's gone past.
Great areas there. There's not many leaves, is there, in T20? So bowling that sort of area entices the batter to have a little bit of a poke around at it.
Yeah, in an ideal world, I think you get a bit of bat on that, run it down to deep third and get up the other end, don't you? But that was definitely a bit of a poke at that one from Raza. That one off the hip, that's a better one to get early on in your innings, isn't it? Turn it into the leg side, pick up your single, get down the other end, keep the strike. 9 overs, 72 for 3. Successful over for Derbyshire. That wicket of Vasconcelos fell. Pat Brown, 2 overs, 2 for 14. A great start for the Derbyshire seamer.
Brown's done that a lot, hasn't he, over the years, whether he's been at Worcestershire or obviously now Derbyshire. Just coming on, having that ability to take the wicket, not go for loads of runs, and just put the pressure back on Northants here.
Yeah, pressure very much on the home side. That run rate required 8.27 now. Samit Patel back into the attack. He's going to be bowling to Sikandar Raza. Raza plays that one down to long off for a single. If you thought Ravi Bapara had played for a few teams around the world, Sikandar Raza has played for some and some more as well on top of that.
Think about the stash.
Honestly, you'd need another house for it all.
You
wouldn't
would. Might have to ask him for some of it for the Steelbacks Foundation.
Be careful. You might need a bigger van.
Yeah, that's very true.
The Steelbacks and the community upgrades the van to an articulated truck. Down the leg side, swept away, well fielded at 45. Keeps it down to a single for Ravi Bapara. Feels like this is the partnership for Northants. If these two come back together for a while, they're obviously going to get this game closer to the Falcons total. That slog swept, that's certainly going to put the fielder under a bit of pressure. It's held up a little bit down towards the heavy sweep. Does really well to cut it down, and Papara's going to come back for a third.
That's fantastic running, but a great bit of fielding down there as well.
Yeah, really, really good job down on the boundary. Good shot by Raza. 3 runs added to the score. 9.5 overs. 77 for 3. Papara on strike. Can he get it past Samit Patel? He can. Picks up the single.
Derbyshire's ground fielding has definitely been better in this first 9 and a bit overs than Northants was. Whether they picked up anything from obviously watching Northants bowl, sorry, but just that, you know, some people would have given up on that ball going down there, but because they know how slow the outfield is, because of all the rain that we've had, didn't give up, saved 1 run.
Well bowled by Samit Patel, but Sikandar Raza gets the single, just drops it into the offside. It barely leaves the cut strip. Right, halfway stage, the Steelbacks are 79 for 3. So still there or thereabouts with the Derbyshire Falcons. The Falcons at the same stage were 84 for 3. So just 5 runs separate the two sides. As I say, this feels like a massive partnership for both sides. Safe Sabe is next, and we know all about Safe Sabe's white ball prowess. Lewis McManus, George Bartlett, and then we get into the bowlers.
Yeah, I think these two need to bat for time, take a big chunk out off that. But like you said, we've seen innings from Safe. But we also know that Pat Brown's got 2 overs. He's been the big difference, you know, removing both openers.
Lewis Rees into the attack for the first time this evening from the David Capel end. Starts with a pitched up delivery for Sikandar Raza, who picks up the single down to long off. Yeah, wickets in hand here feel like that's the way to take this game to Derbyshire. It was that moment, wasn't it? There was the 2 wickets and 2 balls for David Willey.
Yeah.
And the score went from 114 for 4. Well, sorry, 106 for 4 it was to 118 for 6 over the course of 12 balls. 122 for 6 if you take it up to 18. And it felt like that was the moment that Northants just wrestled themselves back into the game. Slower ball.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously we spoke about Whiteley and the fact that he didn't get any runs. I think if he had got in, then we could be chasing, or Northants could be chasing a lot more than they are. Yeah. But I think Derbyshire batted quite well in the first sort of 10, 12 overs, didn't they? With Reese hitting the ball hard, Lloyd, you know, they never really went hard at the bottom end because they'd lost a few wickets. So if Papara and Raza can bat time, then it puts Northants in a really, really good position.
Yeah, you can see the equation on screen at the moment. 81 runs required off 59 balls with 7 wickets in hand for the Steelbacks. Lewis Rees doing his very best Ravi Bapara impression at the moment. It's been a good over so far for the Derbyshire seamer.
You know, having Rees come on and bowl such a good over, just it's going to be in Northants' head as well.
Last ball of his over. It's just gone for 3 so far, and that one into the surface, and it's going to be another 1 to finish the over. So 4 runs from Lewis Reese's first over. That's going to give Samit Patel something else to think about, whether Lewis Reese is going to come back for another one. 11 overs, 83 for 3. Score, but the skipper is going to carry on himself from the Lynn Wilson centre end. 2 overs, none for 15 so far for Samit Patel. Just the 2 dot balls out of the 12 deliveries bowled so far, but then only 1 boundary conceded as well. Papara gives himself a bit of room, hits that at the fielder at cover, picks up the single.
You look at the bowlers there, like the economy rates, they've all bowled tidily, haven't they? And I think the Northants batters are going to have to think about who they're going to go after. And who are they going to put under pressure? I don't know if Patel's going to bring on that 6th bowler like Northants did, or whether he'll just work around. He's manoeuvred his bowlers quite well up to this point.
One turned into the leg side for a single for Raza. Yeah, Lewis Reese would be the 6th. So it was Zach Chappell, Thompson, Tickner Brown, Samit Patel, and then the Lewis Reese would be the 6th. So Lewis Reese is that bowler to give yourself a little bit of, give yourself some flexibility. But that over's gone for 4 from Lewis Reese. Yeah. I think we're going to have to see him, but we're going to see him bowl again. Samit Patel just getting his field right. Slog sweep, but can't get it past the fielder on the 45. Ravi Bopara 19 off 17, 78 off 50 required. You can feel it's tense, can't you? Because the crowd's just got quiet.
Yeah.
Down the leg side. Does that brush the pad on the way past? No wide signal. Bopara can't believe it. Good bit of bowling from Samit Patel to fire it in. You can see that gap out of our window here, can't you, that Ravi Bopara is trying to find. If he can beat 45, he's pretty much guaranteed a couple of runs. As it is, he plays it to Lewis Reese at cover and picks up the single. 12 overs have been bowled. 86 for 3 the score.
Brilliant over there from Patel. Just what they need just to keep that required run rate. Yeah, nearly up at 10s, isn't it? One more over and it could be up there, and then it's just pressure.
Yeah, it was an excellent set from Samit Patel. We've got Blair Tickner coming back into the attack. 2 overs, none for 16 so far for the man from Hawke's Bay, Napier, New Zealand. So we haven't got to that stage yet where the Falcons just had that wobble in their middle over. So that is the time where the Steelbacks, if things go to plan, can catch up. But they've got a little bit of heavy lifting to do. That run rate, that required run rate now for the Steelbacks, 9.63. It is creeping, isn't it, up towards 10 and over. Here comes Tickner. Slower ball, and that's nicely played. It's beaten him, actually. There was a dive, wasn't there? Are they going to catch it? They're not. That is a perfect bit of cricket there for Ravi Bopara. Just guides it down through a gap that you didn't think existed. Gets 4 off the first ball.
I think what's really different, obviously, batting first, you're setting the run rate, obviously. Yes, you're constantly looking at seeing where you are, but there's so much more pressure when a batting team is chasing because it's there, isn't it? We're going at 7.4. We need to be going at 9.3, and that's constantly in your head. The pressure's there.
That one down the leg side. They're going to look for a couple, but I don't think Bopara is going to come back. Harry came down on that boundary, doing a really good job to keep it down to a single. Sikandar Raza, 9 off 11 so far. He's tried the Bopara, nearly chops it onto his own stumps, but gets the single, gets down the other end. But yeah, as I said, you can, well, firstly, it's a little bit breezy, so I can't get the effects mic all the way up because it is just kind of peaking every now and again. But you can tell how important this is for the home crowd, that they'll know that these are the two that they need to take this game deep. It is pretty quiet out there at the moment, and it's been lively up to this point.
Yeah, it definitely has. There's no, well, there's maybe a few little bits of noise there from the people behind where the fielder was there. Whereas a few overs ago, he got a little bit more noise, didn't he, when he was fielding the ball? Yeah, it just feels a bit tense.
Yeah. Skandaraza uses his feet. That's outside half of the bat, and luckily that's going to drop safe in front of Pat Brown. That could have gone anywhere off the bat of Skandaraza. As it is, it's skewed over point, and it's fallen just in front of the Derbyshire seamer. Skandaraza gets the single. It's 94 for 3 off 12.5 overs. Tickner into bowl. Short ball, pulled away, hooked away, in fact, down towards the Jackson Grundy, and it's going to be 4 to finish. One bounce. Tickner's covering his mouth there. He feels he could have had 2 wickets and 2 balls there.
Yeah.
As it is, both of them are still going.
I think a lot of the tension's actually being built because of how well Derbyshire are bowling and fielding. You know, Northampton aren't giving their wickets away. The pressure's being built by Derbyshire. So I think Derbyshire have come out here, and the first 13 overs they've executed everything I would think that they would want to be doing at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, Tickner's obviously disappointed. He potentially could have had 2 wickets and 2 balls there, which would have changed it completely, like it did in the Derbyshire innings. But yeah, all the pressure is on Northampton here.
Well, to keep that pressure on for Derbyshire, Zach Chappell is back into the attack. He got the wicket off the captain, Dave Willey. Skandaraza dropping that in the leg side. Going to look for 2. They're going to come back for 2. They're going to take on the field. It's a good arm. Skandaraza comes back to complete the second. That's Anuj Dow out on the field as the sub-fielder, and he is electric in the outfield. So take him on at your peril. The 100 up for the Steelbacks as well. 100 for 3 off 13.1. 63 required off 41. Is your pound coin still on the Steelbacks?
Can I tell you after the next couple of overs?
No.
You want me now?
Yeah.
I think Derbyshire might have this.
I'd say it's certainly swaying in Derbyshire's favour right now. Raza gets a single, gets down the other end. These are the next couple of overs are the ones that the Steelbacks pegged the Falcons back.
Yeah.
So I think if I'd given you the benefit of letting me know in a couple of overs' time, then I think we'll have a much better indication as to where we are in the game. If the Falcons can have a similar couple of overs, maybe break this partnership, pick up the wicket of safe save as well. Wow, that's well timed, isn't it?
Very well fielded, though.
Well timed and well fielded by Alex Thompson at backward point. I think if the Steelbacks get through that period without losing those wickets, I suddenly think your £1 starts looking a little bit more inviting than what it does at the moment.
I think if Northampton can get through and reduce the required runs by 30 without losing another wicket and not utilising, obviously, a lot of balls, then I think it goes back in Northampton's favour. But with the way that Derbyshire are bowling at the moment, it feels like Northampton have got to do something to keep that run rate ticking along.
Yeah, Skandaraza there just try to weight that one into the leg side and get that second run again, but Pat Brown flew off the boundary to make sure it was only a single. It's been a 32-run partnership between these two. It's only been 2 boundaries. They both came off that last over, both off the bat of Ravi Bapara. He's 31 off 24 with 4 fours. Zach Chappell into bowl, 2 left in the over. That one, there's potential chance, but Chappell had to run around Raza there to get the fielding off his own bowling. 1 left. Good call, I think, not to take that single. 60 off 37 now. Run rate 9.73 required for the Steelbacks. Last ball of Chappell's third over. Down the leg side. That's going to be handy. An extra run and an extra ball for Northamptonshire.
Northants will want a boundary here on that extra ball. Yes, you take the wide, but you always want to try and capitalise on that extra ball.
That is the area where the boundary is available, but Bapara can't get it past Thompson at backward point. Visible frustration from the Northants number 4. Dot ball to finish the over, cannot use the extra one. 14 overs now complete in this innings. 104 for 3. So Derbyshire 10 runs ahead of the Steelbacks at this stage. This is the over. The 15th over is the double wickets for David Willey. And who's trying to replicate it? But it's going to be Pat Brown from the David Capel end.
Northants will not want to lose any wickets here, but they need to find the boundary a couple of times in this over.
Slower ball. That's gone miles. Wowee. Sikandar Raza has planted one in the back gardens on Abingdon Avenue. I think there's a little conservatory over there as well. So hopefully that's still in one piece. But there's the boundary that you wanted.
Yeah, that's one of them. But new ball, please. Although there is people over standing on the balcony out there. Maybe they could nip down and throw it back for us. But they don't seem to. They're too interested in the cricket.
Well, that or they're a bit upset that it's maybe just disturbed one of the roses or something.
Yes, maybe.
Sikandar Raza, get round there and apologise after the game. Slower ball from Pat Brown and was picked, wasn't it, by Sikandar Raza? And that was enormous down towards the deep mid-wicket boundary. It will bring about a new ball or a different ball for Pat Brown and for Derbyshire. Drink there as well for Ravi Bapara. Gus Miller, the 12th man, named in the squad, didn't make the starting 11. Older or younger brother of Flo Miller?
Older brother.
I think. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the 3 Northants cricketers that you mentioned are going to be playing for the Sunrisers on Sunday. Family affair, the Millers.
Yes.
Oh, he's gone again.
Oh, I
That's
nearly called
even
it.
bigger. Oh my word, Sikandar Raza hold the pose. That's over the groundsman's sheds. Back-to-back sixes.
I was just about to say, really good cricketers go twice.
Brave cricketers
and
go
he
twice.
has gone twice, and that's even bigger.
Wow. That's as big as we've seen at Wantage Road.
Clean hitting.
What does Pat Brown and what does Samit Patel do now?
Well, unfortunately, you can't have fielders outside of the ground, but hopefully, well, sensible batting now.
Oh, he's going again. It's tracked him and it's hit him up in the ribs. He's come through for a leg bite.
He fancied it again, didn't he?
He's absolutely gutted with himself as well, isn't he? You can
That might have hurt as well.
Actually, he's been given us a run.
Oh.
So much was the discomfort that Sikandar Raza has felt there that's been given us a run. Maybe it's brushed the glove into the body. 46 now required from 33.
But those 2 shots completely changed that equation. It's still, the pressure is still on Northants, but two balls is all. But it's again same what Chappell did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bang bang, and then just changes it everything.
Slower ball from Pat Brown, really well bowled, well disguised. Bapara threw his shot as the ball went past the off stump. So a good comeback, these 2 balls from Pat Brown. Those 2 sixes, that run rate was nearly up at 10s. It went down to about 8.5. So this is the over that David Willey picked up those two wickets. And as it stands, at the end of this over, the Falcons were 118 for 6. There's 2 balls left in this one. And the Steelbacks are 117 for 3 at the moment. Pat Brown into bowl. Yorker, Bapara does well to dig it out, gets the single. So Sikandar Raza will face up against the last ball. 28 off 19 for Sikandar Raza. What are you doing here? You going again, or are you taking the single and taking it another over further down?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I'm taking the single. Raza, not sure. I think he might go again.
He tries it. Well bowled by Pat Brown. Doesn't time it anywhere near enough, and it dribbles out to the leg side boundary. 119 for 3. A great over for Northants Steelbacks. They are 1 run ahead of where the Falcons were at this stage, but with 3 wickets extra in the hutch as well.
Part of me feels like I need to have that pound back and put it back on Northants.
It's changed sides a couple of times here, isn't it, so far through this evening?
We've said that this is the amazing thing about T20s. 2 balls in an over can completely change it.
Yeah.
And yes, Northampton now 1 run ahead, but obviously we know that Chapel came out and did bang bang 6-6, and then Northampton's still got to have they've still got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Skandar Raza plays that one into the offside of Samit Patel. This is Samit Patel's last over. He's none for 18, none for 19 now, 3.1. Ravi Bopara on strike, 32, gives himself room, sweeps, can't get it past that fielder again. We've seen that 3 or 4 times in this innings of Ravi Bopara so far. He gives himself a bit of room, doesn't he? Samit Patel follows him.
Yeah.
And can't get the sweep past the fielder on the 45. Quicker ball from Samit Patel, which Raza runs down to long off. I think there's a little kind of nod here to Samit Patel of, let's just see you out. If we can get 6 off this, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't think I don't think Thompson will come back necessarily. Obviously, Willie bowled Freddie the last over. I don't think that will necessarily happen with Thompson. So you've got pace on the ball.
Yeah.
So Northants will know that and think, oh, we can drop it short. We can free our arms. Use the pace of the ball.
Yeah, if Alex Thompson doesn't come back, does that means we're going to have another over from Lewis Rees, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we are going to get those change-ups, those pace-off change-ups from Lewis Rees again. They're going to take on the fielder really well fielded in the covers. So it is going to be 5 off Samit Patel's final over. That's him done. 4 overs, no maidens, none for 22 for the Derbyshire skipper. Where are we? 124 for 3 with 4 overs to go. 50 partnership quietly. Well, not quietly, but 50 partnership between Bopara and Raza as well. 53 off 44, 2 4s and 2 6s. And the Steelbacks require 39 from 24 balls.
Very interested to see what sort of conversation they would have just had. Is it, you stay, I'll go? Or is it, let's another couple of overs, let's keep the run rate to 10 and over off 2 overs?
Yeah.
You would back the batting team with wickets in hand, but it's whether they're going to go, let's just tee off now.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Lewis Rees. That's going to be a wide to start. Raza happy to let that one go past. No, it's not. It's going to be Blair Tickner, isn't it? I apologise. It's going to be slightly harder to line up. He was tricky with his changes of pace. They're going to know he's got that quicker ball in there. Lewis Rees, I think. Lewis Rees or Alex Thompson hold this innings.
Yes.
Oh, that's powerfully struck. That's going to put Pat Brown under pressure, who does well to cut that one off on the point boundary. Make sure that's only a single.
But it'll be interesting to see. Thompson is back to that point we were talking about earlier about stats versus sort of not necessarily experience, but Lewis Rees has bowled 1 over for 4.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously Thompson's bowled 2 for 20, but 1 was in the power play, although that was you would argue the better over because it went for less runs.
Well bowled by Blair Tickner, just hiding it outside the off stump. And I don't know whether Ravi Bopara is just showing a little sign of frustration at the moment. He's tried a couple of those now where he's tried to pull the seamer from wide outside off stump over the leg side, and he's not connected. He's 34 not out off 32 deliveries. And again, Tickner gets the better of him, mixes the pace up. Papara just walks away, just has a bit of a regroup to himself, and that run rate, that required run rate now at 10.5, that's the issue as well. It builds so quickly at this stage of the innings.
Of course it does, yeah. He's eyeing up long off, isn't he? Up and over. No one back there.
That one through the offside. It's going to be Pat Brown doing the work again, and it is just going to be one. He's been brilliant on the boundary. He's been brilliant with the ball, but he's been superb on the boundary as well. That over from Raza kind of spoiled it, but 2 for 14 off 2 overs before that. But he's been so reliable in the field for Derbyshire, and that you would say is undoubtedly the big difference between the two sides so far. Appeal for LBW. Raza's got a long way across and ends up coming through for a single after all of that.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with the biggest difference has been the ground fielding. Yeah, there was a few drops by Northants, and there's been no drops by Derbyshire, although there's been a few that have just dropped either side. But definitely the ground fielding has been really, really good by Derbyshire in the ring and out on the outfield.
That's gone up, it's gone long, and it's gone out of the ground into the Spencer Lounge. Ravi Papara has lined that up about 5 times.
Yeah.
Last ball of Tickner's over and spell and work this evening. He lines him up and plants him over long on for 6. What a great finish to that. 134 for 3 after 17. These two teams are still pretty much neck and neck.
It just goes to show what he played and missed it 2 or 3 that over.
Yeah.
But still came out with the required run rate. So it's about not getting too frustrated and just, you know, Tickner just pitched one up a little bit too much there, and yeah. So got Chappell coming for his last one. So you'd think Brown maybe the penultimate, because they always say, don't they, the 19th over is the key one to give as many runs to the 20th over.
Yeah. It is going to be Zach Chappell from the Lynn Wilson centre end. Raza goes for the scoop, gets over the keeper, beats 45 and gets 4. This has been a mighty innings from the Zimbabwean. He's 38 off 26. He gave himself time at the start, he and Papara, and they're both catching up and both at the moment putting Derbyshire under pressure.
Yeah, same with Ricardo, didn't they? All 3 of them. And I think, yeah, Derbyshire had a couple that did that, but I think this is the difference again between the two is they're just batting time.
Down the ground this time, they've changed the field, but I think this has worked. There's Tickner underneath it, and it's gone. It's a simple catch. Raza took the bait, really. They changed the field. Fine leg went back. Mid-off came up into the circle. Back of a length from Chappell. And Raza can't get enough of it. It's gone straight up and ended up being a pretty simple catch for Blair Tickner. And the Steelbacks are 4 down for 138.
That's still a fantastic innings. Okay, you might say, did he need to go for that? But at the end of the day, you've got safe it, you know, very quick between the wickets, busy at the crease, happy to do, you know, ramps and all that sort of stuff. So it's not a bad thing. I think Raza's done everything that they would have hoped for him to have done there.
Yeah, I mean, without being knocked out at the end, it's kind of the ideal innings for the Steelbacks. Fantastic it was to watch. 38 off 27 on debut for the Northants Steelbacks. Batted for half an hour, 1 4, 2 6s, striking at 140. And as you said, Saif Zaib is the new man for Northants. Hits the ball all over the place. Genuine 360 cricketer, Saif Zaib. Zach Chappell with his tail up, though. Drops that one down into the offside, gets the single, gets off the mark, gets Papara back on strike. 24 required from 15 balls.
You'd say anything under 20 going into the last 2. The batters will feel still only 4 down.
Yeah.
You would think. So Derbyshire are going to want to take another wicket in this over, I think, to swing it back their way.
Oh, they're going to get it. Papara's given him a chance, but he's beaten the man on the 45. For a second, he was interested, wasn't he? He picks up the 4 down to fine leg. And again, we've seen the change in the field. Zach Chappell has called for mid-off to come up inside the circle and fine leg stays back. Let's hope this isn't a bit of deja vu for Northants. 20 now required of 14. It's one of those scores, isn't it? Like, it's exciting when a team gets 230 or 240, but you kind of know the race has been run by that point.
Yeah.
Short ball, pulled away down into the leg side. It's going to be one bounce in front of, I think it's Anuj Dow down at backward square. But if you gave me 162, 165 every week, every day for the blast, perfect.
Yeah, in this day and age, 160 seems like a low score. And yes, we've spoken about the pitch, but it's not played badly at all. It had a little bit of something in it for the bowlers, which I called earlier. This is a batter's game. But having a pitch like this, it's just got a little bit of something in it, just keeps it exciting. And actually look at what it set up. It set up a fantastic, run chase, hopefully, for Northants. But Derbyshire have kept themselves in it. They're still in it, but they've kept themselves in it all the way. They could have easily walked out and been like, 162 is not enough, and been really down. But their fielding's been fantastic. They've bowled really well, I think, obviously, I don't know the plans, but from looking at the areas that they're bowling to the fields that they're setting, they're looking like they're bowling to their fields. Yeah, I would very much agree with that. What do we need? 18 required off the last 2 overs. Ravi Papara is 46 not out off 37 balls. Safe save. The man on strike, he's only faced 2. He's 2 off 2. At this stage, Steelbacks are 2 runs ahead of the Falcons. The Falcons need wickets. If Derbyshire are winning this game, they need wickets and they need them quickly. Pat Brown into the attack. Safe save, creates a bit of room. He's going to look for a couple. I think he's going to get it. He's certainly going to come back. He's, as you said, lightning between the sticks. Now the crowd's come alive.
Nervous for a while, wasn't it?
It was. It did go very tense. Very interesting. So obviously Brown, they've brought on someone that's bowled really well for the 19th. Who do they give the 20th to?
Yeah, as you said, it gets a little bit cliched in T20 cricket now that you win the 19th and you win the game.
Yeah.
And that's certainly what they've tried to do here with Pat Brown, and it's 100% the right thing to do.
Absolutely. You wouldn't leave Pat Brown for the last, although he might be the person that you back to defend 6, 10, whatever you want to do as much damage as you can in the 19th.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. But as you say, where do they go? Do they go Alex Thompson, the off spin, none for 20 off 2 overs? Do they go for the change-ups of Lewis Rees, the medium pace seam up, gone for 4 off just 1 over? Shorter ball pulled into the leg side. It's only going to be 1. I wonder. I reckon Safe might have fancied a couple there if he'd have turned.
Yeah.
Not sure. I don't know. But anyway, he's going to be on strike. 14 required off 9 balls. What does Pat Brown want to leave either of Alex Thompson or Lewis Rees?
12.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well bowled, Pat Brown.
Very well bowled.
He's just in, safe save, advance. Advance at him. He's dropped it shorter. Save for a second, I think, was eyeing up a bit of an uppercut there, wasn't he? But probably got himself a little bit too far away. It would have been on. It would have been a boundary option as well if he'd have played it, because third man is inside the circle, as is backward point. Pat Brown, 2 balls left in his spell this evening. 14 required off 8. Slower ball, hooked away, down towards David Lloyd, and it's gone on the rope. The Falcons get the wicket. The crowd were interested for a long time there. Safe save, I think, got pretty much all of it, but couldn't do anything but pick out David Lloyd, who's hovering down on the fine leg boundary. They know that's a strong area for safe save to score. He's going to go for 5. Wickets win the game for the Falcons.
Yeah. He had to do, Pat Brown's bowled a really, really good over here, not giving them much. The last one that Safe didn't get anything on. Yeah, it's still, you would still say probably in favour of Northampton, the batting team, but I think this last ball is key. If Pat Brown can get away with a dot, then, and also you've got to think that you'd probably prefer McManus to be on strike, so you can afford to give that single away.
Yeah.
Bopara, they might, I don't know if they will take it, they probably will take it, but yeah, Bopara is going to want the strike for the last over.
Yeah, it's an interesting tactic. If Lewis McManus wasn't as established as a batter as what he is,
yeah,
I think there'd be a chance here that you say to McManus, this is a free hit.
Yeah.
Hit it wherever you want, as hard as you can, try and get a boundary, and we'll have Bopara on strike. But McManus is obviously a quality cricketer himself, a quality batter.
Coming in at 7, is still a batter. This is the ball, I think.
It's a slower ball, it's outside off stump, and it's going to be a dot ball.
He's bowled a fantastic spell. Yes, that third over went for a few, but that last over there was really good. Change of pace, change of lengths.
Yeah, Sikandar Raza got hold of him, didn't he, for back-to-back sixes, but he's bowled 4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 33. Pat Brown tonight at Wantage Road. Fantastic spell from the Derbyshire seamer. Northants require 14 off the final over. And it is going to be Lewis Rees is going to bowl the last over of the night from the Lynn Wilson centre end. Ravi Bopara is on strike. He's 47 not out off 38 balls, 5 fours, 1 6. He's taken this innings deep. He's given himself time. What can Lewis Rees do, and what can Ravi Bopara do? That's a slog sweep, and that is out of the ground for starters. That'll help. That's over the sitch stand, into the driveway, round the back, past the ice cream van, and that is 6 runs. That is going to help. 8 now required of 5.
Yeah, that completely changes it. Yes, you probably still look to get a boundary, but you easily could just get 1s and 2s here, couldn't you? I don't think that's his game necessarily. I think that was in the slot. It went. I think he'll go again if the ball's in there.
50 as well for Ravi Bopara. 53 off 39.
What an innings that has been. Again, it's been quite quiet. Does that make?
I'm glad I captained him in the fantasy cricket last league this morning.
Very good.
Shrewd. Hopefully he goes on to get the job done here. 8 now required off 5 balls. Yorker, pace on from Lewis Rees. Good comeback. That break in plays just allowed Lewis Rees to get that one through. There was a long conversation between bowler and captain. 4 balls now required. 8 runs to win, and what a start this has been for the T20 Blast so far in 2024. Can Ravi Bopara do it for the Steelbacks? It's a full toss. Oh, he's going to feel like he's missed out. He's going to come back. McManus is coming back for a second. He is quick between the wickets. We knew Safe Zaid was quick, but Lewis McManus is as quick.
He knows his role here. Yes, he's an established batter, but Bopara's been out there for 41 balls. Lewis will know, head down, run.
Yeah, it's a simple equation, isn't it, for McManus at the non-striker's end?
He's got the ability, but if you had the choice, you're going to go Bopara all the time, aren't you?
Absolutely. 55 or 41, 6 required off 3. Lewis Rees into bowl. Triggers across, Q ends it. That's going to be a single. That's incredibly well fielded off the shin from Lewis Rees. I think he might be putting on a brave face here that hasn't quite hurt as much as what it might have done.
Yeah, that was straight off the shin, wasn't it?
Bopara can't believe it. Look at him at the non-striker's end.
I think they were looking for the umpire for no ball, maybe. I think it just dipped, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was okay. I think Bopara can't believe he's not just placed that perfectly straight down the ground for a couple. He's certainly engaged in conversation with the standing umpire, isn't he? But I'm not convinced he's going to change his mind now. 2 balls left, 5 to win. McManus on strike, yet to get off the mark. Here goes Lewis Rees. Across his stump, slog sweep. Has he got it? He's got it down past the boundary. I think that's a 1 bounce 4.
What a shot that is.
That is ice in the veins from Lewis McManus. Only faced 1 ball.
What a shot that is. 1 get off the mark. In the scenario that we're in, premeditated, across the stumps, saw that there was no one out there. Fair play.
Well, I didn't ask you whether your quid was going to go on a tie, did I?
No, that is true. That is true. No, I'm Northampton. 1-1. He's got to get back on it, hasn't he? Otherwise,
Yeah. Bat on it.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
Keep her up to the stumps. You can't take the single through to Brooke Guest. Big conversation between Blair Tickner, Samit Patel, Lewis Rees, Harry Kane. Conversations between Ravi Papara and Lewis McManus. But as you said, I suspect that one's probably slightly simpler than the Rees one. And what we've got here, surprisingly, Pat Brown is still out on the leg side boundary. Everybody else is well inside the 30-yard circle. Lewis Rees into bowl to Lewis McManus. 1 to win. Goes for it, down the ground, gets it. Lewis McManus is the match winner for Northants. Papara is the hero. 56 or 42 on debut for the Steelbacks. What a game of cricket we've had. The Steelbacks win by 5 wickets.
T20 cricket is back.
It's so good.
That's, again, I've spoken a lot about what would I do in the situation, or but for McManus just to go, I'm not looking for a tip and run here. You're going back over the top. Like, he could have easily mistimed that, got caught, but he hasn't. It's a glorious shot. Thank you very much.
It was a good length by Lewis Rees to allow that shot. Lewis Rees did miss the length. Absolutely. I don't think anybody would deny that. But what a game of cricket. 163 for 5. Northants, a few more than that after the extra boundary for Lewis McManus, and they come out victorious. They start the campaign with a win, their first win in all competitions in 2024. 42 from Ricardo Vasconcelos at the top of the order, as we said, gave himself time and then accelerated. 56 not out for Ravi Papara, off 42 balls, gave himself time, accelerated. Sikandar Raza, 38 off 27. I sound like a broken record.
Yeah.
Gave himself time, accelerated.
That's just, I've said it. Cricket is a simple game if you just bat time. And they never let the scoreboard really get to you. Maybe Ricardo did at one point, but he was setting the tone at the top of the order, wasn't he? Whereas the Raza and Papara there won the game for Northants by not letting pressure get to them, playing the shots when they were there, and running well between the wickets. And yeah, fantastic. What a game of cricket to bring T20 back to Wantage Road.
Yeah, blast off. Couldn't have been better titled, could it? The bowlers for Derbyshire, 2 for 29 for Zach Chappell, none for 20, Alex Thompson, none for 38, Blair Tickner, 3 for 33, Pat Brown, none for 23, Samit Patel, none for 17 for Lewis Rees. Yeah, what a game of cricket. There'll be a lot of happy Northants fans having watched this. There'll be a lot of disappointed Derbyshire fans. But from a neutral perspective, I don't think you could ask for a better introduction to the Blast in 2024.
No, you definitely can't. I think Derbyshire did really, really well there. They could have easily, like I said, come out and sort of gone, we haven't got enough on the board. But they have executed everything perfectly. Their ground fielding has been brilliant. Their bowling has been really, I think, really good. They just didn't take those couple of wickets that Northants did at that real key time, allowed Rapara and Raza to sort of not manipulate the game, but allow themselves to get in and then build that innings. But no, fantastic. Even fight to the end. Pat Brown, penultimate over. To come back after the over that he got hit all around was fantastic. I actually think they probably bowled better than Northants did.
Yeah.
Changing lines, lengths, bowling to their field. But no, they'll be very, very disappointed, and rightly so, because they've done a fantastic job in the bowling and fielding, and on a whole with their batting as well. There's not much you can sort of go against.
No, absolutely,
really.
Absolutely. Next up for Northamptonshire tomorrow night, away against Nottinghamshire at Trent Bridge, 6:30 start. Where at Derbyshire, Saturday the 1st of June in Birmingham, of all places, against Leicestershire. I don't know whether that's a typo or not. Maybe it's a double header at Edgbaston. I don't know. And then obviously the big game, the big double header here at Wantage Road on Sunday, which we hope to see as many of you here from the stream in the ground in person. So my name's been Dan Jadzovic. Trish Hankins, thanks. You've been brilliant.
Thank you.
And thank you for a great game of cricket. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you on Sunday.